Faithful, Niner Empire. What's good? It has been a while since the Straight Out of the Bay crew has been live. But hey, we are 7 days away from the season. And what a better time than to go live and speak to the 49er fans and also to connect with my bros once again. Bay Area Baller will be in here a little bit later. But I got to say, what's good to Kelts, Amin? How are you guys doing? How was your summer? How you guys doing, man? It's good to see you guys.
What is up, Jay? What's up, Amin? It has been a while, but we are back and hey, it's football season. You know, a lot has happened. It's been a good summer. Hey man, we're back. We're back.
Like, I don't know if it's just me, but like summer goes by like that. Like, I feel like summer goes by way too fast. And like for people that are working, right, like summer ain't really summer. Like, you might spend some time with your kids, but like as a school, like someone that's still in school, like I enjoy my summer 2 months, and then now I gotta go back to school, and I'm already back at school, and all this work and tests and assignments, and back to the grind once again. But football season's back. That's the good thing about when school starts. You got to wait like a week or two, and then football season's back. You get to root for your teams. College football Saturdays, Sundays, you got the NFL. Like, your weekends are filled with, some excitement. So, yeah, football season's back. Can't complain.
No, absolutely, man. Football season is back. That's what September is all about. As you mentioned, you got to continue the grind of school and work and all that good stuff. But I know we're all happy and glad that football is back. The Niners play the last game of the week 1 schedule, Monday Night Football against the New York Jets at Santa Clara at Levi Stadium. We'll definitely be talking about that and much more NFL predictions probably toward the end of the show. Hopefully Bay Area Baller will be on so he can participate in that as well. And huge shout out, whether right now we're on just my channel, I believe, Jay in the Bay, but eventually we're going to get into all of our channels. Amin the Dream, Celts Chronicles, Rich Celts, and Bay Area Baller. All their descriptions for the YouTube channels are in the description. And also, we will be having a Straight Out of the Bay fantasy league. If you are interested, I believe the draft will be this Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. So if you're interested, feel free to hit Amin the Dream in his Twitter account. And I have that in the description of this video. So, and I will be reiterating that throughout the show. But I guess first, man, I guess we should start off with some troubling news that happened over the weekend. I mean, we got to start off with, Ricky Pearsall. And the crazy story. I mean, he was in the city and he had just left a autograph session, and he ended up getting a kid, 17-year-old cat, held him up. Unfortunately, Pearsall got shot in his chest. I mean, thank God that he's alive. I mean, you get shot in your chest, the odds of you surviving that is slim to none. So huge shout out to the first responders. And Ricky Pearsall will be out the first 4 games of the year, but I mean that's the least of his worries, I'm sure, and everyone's worries. But I mean, what were your guys' thoughts on that? Where were you at when you heard the news? I didn't even believe it at first. I was like, what? Like when was the last time you heard that happen, especially to a 49er player? It's just crazy times we're in now. But where were you at when you heard the news, Meeting the Dream? What were your thoughts, man?
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little skeptic at first. I thought someone might have put out like a fake article, like some fake news out there, some rumors. And then when Schefter tweets it out, then it's legit. But prayers up to Ricky Pearsall. Obviously, he's the 49ers put him on IR. He's gonna miss the first 4 games of the season, which is unfortunate. I'm glad we have Brandon Aiyuk back, because if we didn't, and we didn't have Pearsall also week 1, that would be troubling. But all I can say is, regardless of, football aside, I'm just glad, he's in stable condition. I heard he, got discharged from the hospital after a day. Like, I'm just glad he's in, good health. Obviously he still has to recover, but I'm just glad he's doing fine. Being shot anywhere, like personally, I've never been, but I know obviously like it's tough. You remember Brian Robinson on the Washington Commanders? He got shot last year, I think. Like it's obviously tough, but all I can say is I'm glad he's doing fine. I'm glad he's doing better. Heal up, Ricky Pearsall. We're gonna need you this year, but I'm just glad that he's in stable condition.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, man, it's a crazy world, we live in. I mean, in the same year, the president or former president gets shot at. Ricky gets shot at, and it feels like a lot of times, and it brings back some PTSD. You know what I'm saying? So I think like someone like me, I'm a little numb to it, but just kind of brings back memories. Being in the streets, in the tough town and stuff. So it's just kind of, it's unfortunate, and it happens all the time, every day, whether it's not taking away anything from Ricky, but it happens all over the world all the time, man. And whether I think sometimes people get caught up in arguments on what's worse or what isn't in just today's world, to where the main points get forgotten. That, hey, man, it's a human. He got his life was on the line. There's inches away from, a spine, a heart, some vital organs, lungs, so thank God, he came out the way he did. And, that's about just shock. When I first seen it, it was just kind of shock, but it kind of doesn't surprise me. It's like, you got to kind of out in the Bay Area, you got to kind of sleep with one eye open. You got to kind of be cautious, but you don't want to let it, you don't want to be on eggshells. You don't want to, who knows, maybe the 49ers will get paranoid and win a Super Bowl.
Hey, that would be a great comeback story, right? Absolutely.
Real talk.
Hey, I gotta say,
prayers to Ricky though. Real talk. And
absolutely, well said by both you gentlemen. Absolutely, prayers to Ricky and in his recovery. I gotta say, what's good? We have Jesus in the chat. We have Tile Rob, Bay Area Throwbacks. We appreciate you gentlemen joining the stream tonight. We will be streaming every Monday night. I think the time might vary, but typically it would be after the Monday night football game. So you can expect that from the Straight Outta the Bay crew every Monday night throughout the regular season, and most likely the playoffs as well. So definitely looking forward to that. Amin the Dream mentioned Brandon Aiyuk, aka the Aiyuk Show. The Aiyuk saga is finally over. Man, I got to be honest. It was so it was so annoying every day. He shows up to camp. He doesn't practice. He's dapping up Lynch and Shanahan. Then he's going on a podcast saying, "Oh, Jaden Daniels could take my game to the next level." What? Just the things that Brandon Aiyuk did. I know this is his one chance. Maybe he'll have another chance to get generational wealth. But as a fan, from a fan perspective, it was disheartening. It was annoying. The day-to-day drama every day. I tried to avoid looking on Twitter, looking on YouTube, but it's just hard not to see what's going on. We didn't really talk about it throughout the summer. So I'm curious to know how you guys feel about BA, his actions. Of course, I'm sure we're all glad that he's back wearing the red and gold for sure. But the way he went about it, hey, I think he's probably been the most distraction we've had. If you compare, I mean, the only guys were really Debo and Aiyuk. I mean, if I'm forgetting anyone, Bosa was quiet. Even Trent, he's kind of been quiet, but we'll get into Trent as well. But I mean, the Aiyuk saga is over. Definitely glad to have him. But what were you guys' thoughts about his actions throughout the entire year? And, do you think he'll be worth it? Let's start off with Rich Kelts.
It was a mixed bag, but it was like it was almost like so much of it like wasn't surprised. It's like it stayed surprising me, but I would always kind of be like, why am I surprised by this? Like, I try to hint to you guys, we messaged each other through DMs, just not that much at all, and I said, hey, they're gonna squeeze every drop. Yeah. And I almost feel that from all sides, like just watching the Rick Ross and the Kyle Shanahan and Debo and Aiyuk, and I'm just sitting back looking like, kind of like, man, these dudes, hey, they know what they're doing, man. They're not in this game for no reason. They know how to work business. It's an organization, team first, those are Kyle's guys, and I think they're all on the same string, regardless of how far it might have ever seemed. They know how to run it. This isn't the 49ers first rodeo, with these contract negotiations. We don't, but I mean, to be honest, I look back on it like everybody wins. The content creators, it might be torturous for the fans, but everybody wins. Aiyuk won, the Niners won. When was the last time we had like an all-pro wide receiver? And I don't really view Debo as that, right? So it's like, when was the last time we really had an all-pro wide receiver? That wasn't, we wanted Crabtree to be that, he wasn't. We got rental guys, we got Anquan Bolden and Randy Moss toward the end of their careers. And I love Anquan Bolden, but hey, we got our number one receiver. I don't think he's hit his peak yet. I'm juiced about it. Hey, and a question to you, Jay, did you make up the Aiyuk show? The Aiyuk show.
Absolutely.
Hey, bro, you spoke it into existence way before it happened, man.
It's a show. It's a show.
I almost typed just the Aiyuk show to you hella times, bro. Just like, hey, that because that's exactly what it was.
But I think this was his plan from the Super Bowl. Because I mean, he was filming a documentary throughout the offseason, so But it's from a fan.
Kyle might have been writing up some of those scripts for BA. Yeah. Hey, who knows?
Yeah. And it's real quick. I mean, it was crazy that supposedly, if we believe the stories out there, that the contract that he signed was on the table since August 12th, and he still waited till the end of the month to sign it. I guess he wanted to wait to see if he could get more money out of the Niners, because I guess the negotiations started at 26 per year, eventually went up to 30. So I guess that's what he was doing. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little salty. Now, will it go away when he scores his first touchdown? Of course, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm still salty about it.
How you feel?
I mean, I'm glad that it's done. I'm happy that it's done, but in all honesty, like, even though we got it done, that's the one thing I just don't necessarily understand in general about team and player negotiations. If you really feel like you're gonna get it done at the end of the day, like, the Niners could have gotten this done early in the offseason. I remember me and Jay were going back in DMs about it, and Aiyuk obviously wanted a lot of money, and the Niners weren't willing to give him that money. But in the end of the day, the Niners gave him the money. Like, they gave him the money at the end of the day. Same thing with Bosa, same thing with Warner, same thing with Kittle. With all these player negotiations with the team, it's always like, oh, the Niners and Brandon Aiyuk, they're this far apart. There's a disagreement. Will this get done? Brandon Aiyuk demands a trade. But it's like, if you know you're going to bring him back and you're going to meet his expectations at the end of the day, why get it done this late? And, like, the issue that I have with it is, firstly, like, Brandon Aiyuk, even though 120 is a lot, he wasn't going to get Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb numbers. Nobody expected that. Everybody knew that wasn't going to happen. But in the beginning of the offseason, you maybe could have signed him for 27, 28, maybe a 28 million, 29 a year at max. But instead, you waited. DJ Moore got a bag. Devontae Smith got a bag. Amon-Ra got a bag. And then you waited, and then obviously the price just keeps going up, because whenever you're an athlete, you feel like, you know what, I'm the best at my position, or I'm the best receiver in the league, or I'm the best on my team. Like, you, as athletes, they have that ego. So what? Obviously, Brandon Aiyuk's going to be like, I want more than Amon-Ra. I want more than Devontae. I want more than DJ Moore. I'm worth that much more. So then obviously, the price keeps going up and up and up, and it ends up being 30 million. I'm glad he's back, but the issue that I have with it is, one, why wait this long? But the issue with waiting this long is, even with the Trent Williams situation, is that you wait this long, a guy like Trent Williams, who's 36 years old, or like 37 years old, I don't know, he's on the older side, right? Him missing the entire training camp, and let's say you get it done week 1, he hasn't been through camp like the other rest of these guys. You remember Bosa last year? He missed the entirety of camp, and Nick Bosa wasn't the same Nick Bosa that we see that's dominating on every play, and that's, Pro Bowl. Like, he wasn't dominant last year. Like, Nick Bosa was still good, but he wasn't dominant. The issue that I have with Aiyuk, and the same thing that I have with this Trent Williams contract, is with them missing camp, the risk of injury just goes up like a huge amount, tremendously. The risk of injury goes up. And them missing camp, like, I'm not saying they're not going to be great for us this year or good for us this year. They will be, right? But the thing is, when you miss an entirety of camp and all these other guys are going through, like, Debo's in camp every single day, CMC, he got hurt, but like there's guys that are in camp every single day, and you guys don't have Brandon Aiyuk or Trent Williams, and they play week 1. Will their bodies be able to adjust like quickly enough to football season when they miss the entirety of camp?
No, that's a fair point. I mean, but I would just say, this is Trent's decision. I mean, the brother has 3 years left on his current contract. He's owed $74 million. I mean, he doesn't have any more guaranteed money left. I get that. But I think this move by a 36-year-old offensive lineman, granted, one of the greatest to ever do it, this is unprecedented. I can't recall another offensive lineman who is sitting out, who's choosing to sit out. I could see if this was a Aiyuk situation, you on your rookie contract. This is the last year of your deal. I get it. Or even a CMC who's clearly outplayed his contract, who's been the best player on the squad the last 2 years. You want to get some more money, and it's considerably less than what Trent wants. So I get that, but I don't understand what Trent's doing. I mean, if you show up to play, you're going to get your money. Of course, we would all love guaranteed money, right? But I guess he's in the halfway point of his contract. He still has 3 years left. Like to me, it's honestly ridiculous. Like, hey, just have Jalen Moore start. I know that sounds crazy, but at some point it has to end. When are you going to say enough is enough? Next year, what? Fred Warner's going to want more. Kittle's going to want more. Bosa might want to re-up. Like, when is enough?
But Joe, you're gonna get it done at the end of the day. Let's be real. Like the Niners, it would be foolish for the Niners to go into this year, and let's say Trent doesn't miss week 1. It would be foolish to have Jalen Moore starting at left tackle, whoever's starting at left tackle this entire year, and letting Trent, be on the sideline and not play. Like you're gonna get it done. My thing is like get it done. Like even though it's greedy, I'm not saying it's really greedy by Trent. It doesn't make sense. Like you said, you show up on the field, you play, you're healthy for the most part. Even if you miss 1 or 2 games, like you'll get paid your money. But obviously, when you're Trent Williams, even though you're not Brandon Aiyuk, who's on the last year of his rookie contract, when you're Trent Williams and you're a Pro Bowl, not like one of the best offensive linemen, forget Pro Bowl, one of the best offensive linemen of all time, like, you can demand that, right? Even though it's a little bit greedy, you have the right to do that, and that's what Trent is doing. But I mean, that's the thing about this whole Trent Williams situation, even this Brandon Aiyuk situation, is like, especially with the Trent situation, I don't want to go into week 1 without Trent Williams. I just don't. Like Christian McCaffrey, the runs to the left side, like that won't work with Jalen Moore. That huge part of the offense just won't work with Jalen Moore. You can't do that, Kyle, right? You need Trent Williams on this team. And when you think about it, Trent Williams on the 49ers, there's a lot of players that still, like, you know what? You don't have Dre Greenlaw, Devondre Campbell. He could suffice a little bit. Even though he might not bring that energy, he could suffice. You don't have Trent Williams on this offensive line. This offensive line might be the worst in the NFC West. Like, it's doo-doo without Trent Williams, right? It's not the same thing. The runs with Christian McCaffrey aren't the same. What you like to do with this offense won't be the same. You have to get Trent Williams back on the field, regardless. Like, I even though it's greedy from Trent, you just have to. It's a must.
Hey, and just to tie in, it went from, I think it went from Aiyuk, to the Trent Williams. But all right, man, I kind of almost want to see if this is some kind of controversy, but just we know how big Trent Williams is, literally, and all of it. You know what I'm saying? Trent Williams, one of the greatest of, he's probably going to go down as one of the greatest of all time, right? CMC, last year, we're talking about Fred Warner and CMC. They could be future Hall of Famers right in front of us. And so you got, and what, even in Madden, they're 99. Isn't Trent Williams a 99? CMC's a 99. The whole world knows it. It's Kyle's almost philosophy. He wants to do it. And what bothers me still more than anything is 3rd and 4 in the Super Bowl. I'll be real with y'all, man. That one might scar me for a long time. I don't care, what, if people want to come at me like a therapist or whatever, you feel me? You got to let the pat. But who was used as a decoy on 3rd and 4? Jet sweep, CMC, who didn't get to try to redeem themselves? Trent Williams and CMC were basically used as decoys while freaking Chris Jones is running. That's got to bother them. If I'm an NFL player, if I'm CMC, if I'm Trent Williams, I know we're a team, especially from a CMC type dude. It's like, and they're the two guys that both wanted to restructure and, and I would be kind of salty. And if I know Kyle's the kind of guy who argues or gets frustrated about cafeteria food, back in the day at Washington, if he's that kind of guy that trips out on small things, oh yeah, I'm going to kind of battle. I'm going to be a little petty. Okay, I'll hit you where it hurts, but who knows? Maybe it could be nothing. Maybe it's just, Trent wants what he thinks he is worth, and that's all there is to it. Or it could just be just business. But it was something that caught me that I haven't thought of, that Aiyuk made me think of, like, hey, those are the two guys, that I would always be pissed about, that in my eyes got used as a decoy, a fake jet sweep in the Super Bowl. It's like, it probably looked good on paper, but it didn't work.
It didn't work. No, you're definitely right about that. And Trent is using his leverage, and I don't blame him for using his leverage to get more, but now he's affecting the team by possibly not playing week 1. So it's kind of like, well, we need you out there, and you're not in the last year of your contract. You still got 3 years left, but still you want to get more. I mean, it's your right to do it, but it's just from a team perspective. It's just, well, okay, now you're having Jalen Moore out there, who, granted, he's gotten a lot of reps during the preseason. Obviously, he's not Trent Williams. We know that. But I guess if we needed him to play maybe week 1, maybe that would be the best chance. I don't want to see him out there. I would rather see 71 out there, but I don't. I mean, do you blame the Niners in this situation, knowing that after the Super Bowl, he's coming into the next 3 years of his deal without guaranteed money? Like, did he indicate early on in the process, oh, I want more money, I want more guaranteed money, or do I want to raise per year? Because I've seen other tackles get paid, like Penei Sewell and a handful of other guys get paid. So I think he's still top 5 as far as yearly salary. But I wonder if the Niners knew of this. Do they drag their feet? I don't know.
Aiyuk, what's up, man? Let us know.
Mayoko. Yeah, you saw that he's got a YouTube channel now.
Yeah.
But do you guys blame the Niners on this regarding Trent, or is this just Trent's out of line and he needs to come play week 1? Do you guys blame the Niners?
Nah, I don't blame the Niners at all. But on a funny note, like, I was kind of thinking, like, man, are they just trying to copy the Chiefs like last year with Chris Jones? I think he missed just the one game, but he was still up in the stands, held out just the one game. It kind of gives me those kind of vibes. Like, are we finally trying to start to copy the Kansas City Chiefs over here just on but I don't blame the Niners. I mean, this is, hey, this is how they work their business, man. It's a pay me right now type of business. And I feel like the 4-year contracts turn into 2-year contracts, and there's always ways in or out. And it's kind of, I mean, and I'm not going to sit here and count Trent's money. I don't know what his life is like. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We don't know these men, because I don't want to sit here and call him selfish. There could be some stuff behind the scenes to where it could just be something that he's mad about. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take an extra long break. I'll come back. I know my money's going to be there. I know a team's going to be there. Trent don't got nothing to worry about. Not a damn thing. He could sit back, chill. I'm not sure how hard his money starts getting hit for how long or whatever, but he'll be back. I wouldn't doubt it. It wouldn't surprise me if he misses a game or two. But one thing I will tell you why I'm more confident this year without him, opposed to like last year when we didn't have him for a couple games, is just the training camp. It's like he hasn't been there the whole time right now. So I feel like when things get sprung on Kyle, he kind of freaks out. But when, he's in a rhythm, and Kyle's been in a rhythm with these guys who are there right now. And so I am a little more optimistic that we could do a little bit better than some might think without Trent Williams. But I do know, like, it's a different breed, or he's a different breed. So I'm not discrediting that.
But Kels, let's be real here for a second. Unlike
that was real. Go ahead.
Nah. I mean, but like in the sense of, if you think about the Chris Jones thing, Chris Jones missing a game on that defensive line, it obviously helps to have Chris Jones, but you could still win a game. And I'm not saying you can't win the game without Trent Williams, but not having Trent Williams not only affects Brock Purdy and his, pocket, his clean pocket, and whether he might be able, obviously without Trent Williams, Jalen Moore is not it. I'm just going to be real. Jalen Moore is not it. He could come in and maybe play a game, but watching Jalen Moore last year in the preseason this year, he's all right. He's not Trent Williams. Christian McCaffrey that runs to the left side, like we mentioned. You can't do that without Trent Williams. Brock Purdy, Trent Williams is a beast. Trent Williams gives everybody the work, right? Without Trent Williams, was Brock Purdy going to have the time that he needs to get rid of the ball, which when he didn't have that in that preseason game, was it against the Saints? It might have been against the Saints when the offensive line was just whatever. Brock Purdy was out here playing, backyard football, chucking things up, throwing whatever. And I'm not saying Brock Purdy's going to do that in a regular season game, but it definitely helps to have Trent Williams on that offensive line. And it not only affects Brock Purdy and his play, it also affects Christian McCaffrey and his play without Trent Williams. And the thing that bothers me about it is that, yes, you can make the argument that Trent Williams is being greedy. He's definitely being greedy a little bit. He's getting $70 million something dollars. He wants the guaranteed. We understand. You have the right to ask for the guaranteed because, in all honesty, the Niners need you. The Niners need you more than, you need them. And the Niners deep down, they know that. They know that. But at the same time, if you're going to get the Trent Williams deal done anyways, let's be real, he's not missing the entire year. If you're going to get it done anyways, get it done before week 1. Why even take the risk of week 1? You don't have Trent Williams out there. Jalen Moore's out there starting at left tackle. And, God forbid, but Brock Purdy gets hurt, right? Why even risk that? Or Christian McCaffrey gets hurt. Why even risk that? It's not even worth it. If the Chiefs not having Chris Jones, the defense isn't as good, but it's still, you could still suffice without Chris Jones. And with not having Trent Williams, and not only, like I said, it not only affects that Niners offense, but it affects Purdy and it affects Christian McCaffrey and their ability. So, why even take the risk? You're going to get it done, whether it's week 2, week 3, week 4. You're going to get it done. Get it done before the season starts. Why prolong it? You're going to get it done at the end of the day, anyways.
I would say Steve-O, the comment. I don't know anything about the Lowell article. I'm not sure if you guys know what Steve-O's referring to, but you could type it in the chat, Steve-O. But I think the Niners see the value of Trent Williams. We all do. I just think maybe they don't want to set a precedent of, a marquee player. Oh, I want more money. I'm sitting out. We've already seen VA do that. Now we have Trent doing that. There's going to be a few other guys next year, probably. Maybe that's why the Niners don't want to set the precedent. Or could there be a contract on the table and Trent, for whatever reason, doesn't want to sign it? Maybe he's pulling a BA move. We really have no idea. But I think we can all agree that we want Trent out there. We need Trent out there to be successful, to go to the Super Bowl, to go to New Orleans this year. We definitely going to need 71 there. But we'll see what happens. What's today? Monday. So we got 7 days. Hopefully he's, in 24 hours. Hopefully he'll be in Santa Clara in 24 hours. But we'll see what happens. Got to say what's good to everyone that's in the chat right now. We got Quattro Niner, we got Turbo, we got Sean Tuber, Steve-O, Tile Rob. We appreciate you guys for being in the chat. If anyone is interested in playing some, NFL fantasy football, the Straight Outta the Bay crew will hold a fantasy football league. The draft will be this Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. So if you guys are interested in that, just hit up Amin the Dream on Twitter. And here is his Twitter right there. His Twitter handle, or X, excuse me. I'm still using Twitter. But just hit up Amin the Dream on X on Twitter and let them know that you're interested. And it's a 10-person league. We've already got 4 people, right, Amin? And we're looking for 6 more. Perfect. So if you guys are interested, hit up Amin the Dream on Twitter, on X. You know what it is. And let them know you're interested. Let's see. Let's read a few comments. Sean Tuber says it won't be easy for the Niners to beat the Jets. The Niners are winning this game with or without Trent Williams. Well, stay tuned. We will be giving predictions on the game later in the show. Looks like we have Daniel in the building. What's good? Real quick, back to BA, the Aiyuk show. He he's coming into camp super late. Well, it's not even camp. I mean, there's no more camp. He will be practicing this week. Barrier Baller, let me know when you're ready to come through. You good? Okay. What's good, B? What's good, Barrier Baller? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Feeling good. Excited to be here. Sorry I'm late. I was finishing up this fantasy football draft, and all I got left is to select my kicker and my defense. But hey, forget that. I'm happy to see you guys. It's been a while.
Likewise, man.
What's up, fellas?
What's good,
up,
man?
What's up,
we were just talking about greedy. I mean, we were just talking about Trent Williams, and him holding out for more guaranteed money or a raise or whatever it is. We also talked briefly about BA and his offseason saga. If you want to hit those 2 points, what were your thoughts on both gentlemen this offseason?
The Trent one frustrates me even more than the Aiyuk situation. And I say that because Trent just signed that contract a couple years ago. He knew how much guaranteed money there was. It's like BA, he never got that big deal, right? He's still playing on that rookie contract. But it's like, Trent, dude, you already signed the deal. I know a couple O-linemen you're better than have gotten paid. But, hey, what about Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen? Those guys are like the 10th or 11th highest paid quarterbacks. You don't see them holding out at training camp, squeezing every dollar out of them. So that BA, while neither situation is ideal, BA, I get it a little more because he hasn't gotten that payday. But, Trent, you already signed the deal, bro. Show up.
Completely agree. Real quick. Can everyone leave a BA stat line for the regular season? Let me know how many catches you think he'll get, yards and touchdowns. Let's start off with E. Go ahead, man. What you think?
I'm thinking he's going to have 85 catches, for 1,250. 85 catches, a little over 1,200 yards, and probably seven TDs.
Okay. How about you, Amin the Dream?
Ooh, I'm gonna go 77 catches, 1,200 yards. I think B is gonna have a little bit more touchdowns this year. I think him and Brandon Aiyuk. I'm gonna go with 9 touchdowns. I'm gonna go with 9 touchdowns. I hope Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, but I don't think Christian McCaffrey's had 2 back-to-back healthy seasons in a hot minute. No Christian McCaffrey. Obviously I'm not wishing that, but I think in general Brandon Aiyuk will get more TDs this year. So I'm gonna go 79 catches, 1,200 yards, and 9 touchdowns.
And I'm gonna just go big with it and just say I kept wanting to say like 80, but I'll go up a little bit higher just to be a little different. But I'm gonna say like 87 receptions. Let's do and it's BA, man. He's gonna be hitting those, the deep crossers, and so I can't say like 14. It's got to be like 16, 65. And then I'm gonna go 11 touchdowns for BA. That's the 11 for BA right there. There it is.
Nice. Hey, appreciate you, Sean Tuber, giving your prediction. Everyone that's in the chat right now, feel free to drop your prediction. What's good? I would say, what's good, Blue True?
The 800. Yeah, the 800 got me.
I didn't even mention at the beginning of the show, happy Labor Day, fellas, and everyone that's in the chat. I think BA, I think he's gonna get I'm going with 60 catches. I'm going with 650 yards and 2 TDs. Brock Purdy's going to stick it to him for saying Jaden Daniels going to take his game to the next level. That's what I'm predicting. I'm thinking Purdy going to take it out of BA. And no, I'm just kidding. I think BA, he's averaged, I think, like 77 catches over the last 2 seasons. And I think he'll be somewhere around that. I think Cowling might be able to take away some of those catches. We know Jennings is going to get, I don't know, maybe 2 targets a game. CMC is going to be involved in the pass game as well. But yeah, I think he'll do his 70 to 75 catches. I think he'll get another 1,000-yard season, and I still think I'm thinking about 8 touchdowns. So I think we're all kind of around the same. Let's see. Tile Rob says 80 catches, 1,400 yards for BA. Turbo with a great message out there. Please don't drink and drive. Absolutely, man. Appreciate you for tuning in to the stream tonight, Turbo. So speaking of, I mentioned Cowling. I think he was man. I like the rookie for sure. And since Eric is here, I think it's a great time to talk about the rookies that we saw training camp, practice, preseason. I would love to know.
Jay, I gotta cut you off a minute, Jay. I gotta cut you off.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to be rude, but since Baller is here, I've been dying to ask him this question. How do we feel about Braden Willis? What happened to Braden Willis season?
He's still on the team. Well, I mean, he's on the practice squad.
According to Barry a Baller, Braden Willis was supposed to have like this breakout year. He would have made the roster. Like, what is happening, Baller? How do we feel about Braden Willis? Forget about the other rookies. Braden Willis. That's what we want.
Did Braden Willis regress, Baller? We need your expert.
I thought he could have made the squad, and I wouldn't have had any gripes. That being said, I got to admit, they were experimenting with him at fullback. And actually, that was something I had said dating back to when we drafted him. I thought he could be that fill-in for-use check. We got to see like a pretty extensive look at Willis at fullback in the preseason, and I was disappointed, man. He was getting knocked back. He wasn't finishing the blocks like I really thought he could. So, I am happy that we retained him on the practice squad because our tight end room, I mean, I know we got some topics coming up here, but our tight end room, the depth is lacking for lack of a better words. But Braden, I'm happy he's on the practice squad, but I got to admit, I was disappointed. I expected a little more from him. He didn't get a ton of targets. Like in the games I was watching, as he caught a ball that he kind of tipped up over the middle, kind of double caught it, but really he didn't get many touches. That being said, if you're getting open, you're probably getting more targets. So, hey, it is what it is. I missed on that. I thought Braden was going to be a little better than it turned out.
I mean, he still got room to improve. At least the 49ers brought him back on the practice squad, so he can try to, improve his game. But yeah, any other rookies? Braden's a second-year guy, but were there any rookies who we drafted this year or undrafted guys who you thought, popped or flashed in practice or in the preseason games?
Jacob Pooney. Not Jacob, Dominic Pooney. Yeah. Pooney, I thought was awesome. And when I was scouting him coming out of Kansas, he's got this wide frame where it's hard to get around him just because he's so thick. He's so heavily built. I thought he held up pretty well. I know Baldy shouted him out, did a breakdown on him. So Pooney, I think that was the low-hanging fruit. He's going to be starting, fellas.
Yeah.
Sounds like Kyle kind of pegged him in to be that starting right guard. So I was happy with how he looked.
No, absolutely. I think that was definitely a position the Niners wanted to upgrade throughout the offseason. And Pooney showed up and showed out. And I'm looking forward to seeing him Monday Night Football. One guy that I noticed, I think is Cowling, the wide receiver the Niners drafted this year, especially with Pearsall being out, the first 4 games. Cowling, I think he'll definitely add an area to the special teams unit, and the special teams unit was just terrible. You talk about coverage. I know Isaac G had a nice kickoff return in the preseason, but I think I like Cowling, especially in the punt return game. I think he should excel there. And I don't think he'll get a lot of targets on any, plays. I think you're going to see obviously Debo, Aiyuk, and Jennings get the bulk of those, the bulk of those snaps. But I think Cowling should be able to provide something in the slot. He's quick, he's shifty, he's fast. He's the guy. I know they're built a little bit differently, but Cowling and Danny Gray, they got the same speed factor. Gray's a little bit taller, but Cowling should be very difficult to guard, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. I was impressed by what I saw from him in the preseason, so I'm looking forward to seeing Cowling. I'm a fan.
Yeah, man. What a what a blessing in disguise for Feliciano and Burford to come up with issues, and for Pooney to, who knows if Kyle would have slotted him right in there like that. I would like to think so, because hey, he's popping. I mean, you just see the way he's moving. Like Baller said, basically he's a mountain of a man. And that's what we needed, man. No matter where it comes, the 5th round, 1st round, I don't care. We need some big dogs. And, that's what Pooney is. And I'm loving that. But, then Trent isn't there. So that kind of, hopefully what we do got, it is able to hold it down. And that's assuming he won't play for a week or so. And to me, that's what it's looking like. But besides that, man, I would have to go with Mustafa just hitting. And the biggest thing about it is just the instincts, man. He doesn't look like he's lost. Like sometimes you'll see some guys who, year 3 into it, year 2 into it, and they still look kind of lost, and it doesn't feel like that with Mustafa. And it similarly with Hufanga and Jair Brown, where they both feel like they were already vets. It's like they get up in there and they're on attack mode, and they're not gonna, they're not getting burnt, every other play on top of it. So the days of Oliver is gone. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to leave some meat on the bone and stop with Mustafa coming through, bringing the boom, just like the 49ers love to do on defense. But take it away, Amin.
Kelsey, you took my guy. Kelsey, you took my guy, Malik Mustafa.
That's right.
Mustafa, that Tennessee game at the goal line, like, there's a couple of guys in this defense that, like, I don't know how we're gonna make it work, but like, I love me Hufanga. I love all the safeties we got. I love Hufanga. I love Jair Brown. I love Malik Mustafa. Like, all 3 of these guys. I don't know. Obviously, I feel like in a couple of years one of them might go, but I don't. Like, if there was a way we could keep all 3 of these guys on the roster, like, I love all 3 of these guys. I think all 3 of these guys are dogs. Mustafa is one. What about the linebackers though? I feel like D Winters had himself a good preseason, a good camp. D Winters made some plays in that first preseason game. The linebacker group, even though we don't got Greenlaw this year, I still feel like the linebacker group with Flanagan Fowles, with D Winters, with Devondre Campbell, I still feel like the linebacker group is pretty good. And this is not necessarily rookie hype, but did y'all see that video of Malik Collins in that Raiders game where there was 2 guys, like he was getting doubled and he broke, like, that's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. Like, as much as Eric Armstead, like, I hope he does good in Jacksonville this year. Like, I looking at that and just even watching the game and hearing how, like, if you look at the past stats of him being able to stay healthy and him being able to stay on the field, which Armstead couldn't. But like saying that, like, I think even without Armstead, I think we're in good hands with Malik Collins.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. That was one of the weaknesses on this team last year, was just the interior run D. And you talked about Collins. That's also someone else I wanted to bring up a little bit later. And Jordan Elliott, they should be able to help in that aspect for sure. Steve-O, I'm having trouble deciphering your comment. Maybe I don't know. I appreciate the super chat though. Hot diggity dog. I appreciate that, but I don't know. Let's see. Sean Tuber says Jets can keep Kinlaw. Yeah, it'll be the return of Javon Kinlaw back at Santa Clara Levi Stadium. So that should be pretty interesting. I think you're on mute, Baller. Go ahead.
If you want a little background on Steve-O's comment, it was something regarding what Lowell said about like Kyle having that party while Ricky's in the hospital and not going there.
Yeah, like that was planned
immediately.
Yeah. Like, cool,
I mean, Lowell's old school.
Yeah.
I kind of get where, and I feel like I'm kind of old school at times. Like, I think probably the A1 best thing to do is like, dude, our brother just got shot. Like, hey, Ross, nice to see you, dog. I gotta go. Like, I think that would have been maybe a better way to handle it.
Yeah.
But then again, hey, the party's at his house, right? And so I'm not going to be too critical. Like John Lynch, I mean, that's the guy, man. John Lynch does the right thing all the time when it comes to managing people. Maybe not transactionally, and we can disagree with what John does to, bring in talent, but as a person, he's doing the right stuff. So shout out to John.
Was the party the same night that the shooting occurred?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I think, all right, like me, myself, I'm going to the hospital. I don't give a damn about no party. I mean, you know, someone being shot versus thousands and thousands of parties I'm probably going to go to. Hopefully, if I'm alive tomorrow, hopefully I'll be able to continue to go to thousands of parties. I mean, you got a rookie who got shot. Unless it's Ricky telling me not to come, hey, there's already too many people. It's not going to do no good. If it's not coming from Ricky himself telling me not to, that's the only way I'm going to respect, you know, not going to that. But then when I flip the script and look at it for millionaires and parties and it's at his house, once I start understanding more, I'm kind of like, hey, that would be hard. But the person that I am, I couldn't have just sat there and had a good time knowing, dude, I don't, even if he is all right. I mean, he just went through the most traumatic experience probably ever in his life. You know, I'm going to show up. But, you know, hey, we got John Lynch, who's the good cop. You know, Kyle Shanahan, kind of like the bad cop. Hopefully it works to bring a damn Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Appreciate that $3 super sticker, Blue True. Hot diggity dog. Appreciate that. Yeah, I didn't put two and two together. I didn't know that Shanahan, the party was the same night. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It would have been better if he was there. I mean, I agree. I think that was a missed opportunity for Kyle, for sure.
No, thanks for filling us in on it, Balder, because I did not hear the comments on. Like, I didn't know.
And Steve,
I knew the party. Like, I knew he had the Rick Ross. I saw that video last night, and I was like, all right, the timing of it is a little weird. Like, you see Kyle Shanahan in the white suit and like the book, and Rick Ross, and you see Brandon Aiyuk and Debo doing their whole video. Like, the timing of it was off, but then again, like, I don't think Kyle Shanahan, Debo, or any of us expected Ricky Pearsall to be shot like the day, like yesterday. And then Kyle Shanahan and them with Rick Ross and those guys probably had a party planned for, you know, the last couple of months. And then unfortunately it just happened to be on the day of the party that Ricky Pearsall gets shot. But like Kelt said, like just me personally, if I was the coach of the 49ers, right, and I know my player who's a rookie who hasn't been on this team for that long, unless he's, like you said, unless he's saying, Kyle, like, don't come, I'm all right, like, I'd rather have my own space or my own time with my family. Unless he said that, I don't think it would be such a bad idea to be like, yo, Rick Ross, yo, Debo, yo, Aiyuk, like, I gotta go for an hour, I gotta go and check up on Ricky, I gotta make sure he's all right, just as a coach, right, to make sure my player's all right. And I'll be back in an hour. And I don't think Rick Ross or any of these dudes would be like, "Whoa, Kyle, you called us here, and you're gonna leave to check up on your team on your player that just got shot." Like, nah, it's an understandable situation. But at the same time, like, I get it. Kyle didn't go, but at the same time, it definitely is a missed opportunity, because it definitely, as a player, knowing, like, being in that situation, which is a hard situation to be in, and then your coach comes and he goes out of his way to come see you at the hospital, like, that starts a relationship off, especially as a rookie, that starts a relationship off in a really strong way, and in a much deeper way than if you were just a player and a coach and you just had that player-coach relationship. Missed opportunity by Kyle, but at the same time, I get where Kyle came from. I get it. He had the party and he decided to stay, but whoever did show up, like John and some of the players that did show up, respect to them. But I get both sides of the coin, but just me personally, I would have taken an hour out of the party and gone to check up on Ricky and seen if he was all right.
I would agree. He should have went for sure. Everyone, yeah, he definitely should have went. But I gotta say, what's good? We got G12 in the building. High Hole Silver. We also got David McNiner. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in to the stream. He says, what's up to everybody? And yeah, man, I still live in the Bay. Yeah, G12. I'm still in the Bay. Another rookie who I saw that, or he's not a rookie, but just a guy who flashed was Curtis Robinson. I was like, who the hell is this? Who is this Curtis Robinson cat? First, he looks the part. I mean, he's yoked up. I mean, he's definitely built. And he was just out there running all over the place, making tackles. So Curtis Robinson made the squad as well. So I don't think he'll get meaningful snaps, maybe on special teams, but that's a guy that definitely flash. So, yeah. Sean Tuber says, hopefully the team can rally around Ricky and pile up some wins. Absolutely. Bay Area throwbacks. What's good, man? He says at the end of the day, none of us know the conversations these guys had behind the scenes. Absolutely. No.
Hey, Jay, can we talk about one thing real quick? Even though it's not a rookie, JP Mason, like Kyle, for the love of God, please give JP Mason some more snaps this year. Like, that's all I ask. That's all I ask. Christian McCaffrey doesn't need to play every snap, Kyle. He doesn't need to play every snap.
Yep, he do. He got to play every snap. And if CMC say he ain't coming out, he ain't gonna want to come out. Kyle say, okay, yeah, stay in there, man. We need you to touch the ball 35 times. And it's the fourth quarter. It's 10 minutes left, and we're up by 2 touchdowns. He's still going to have CMC in there. But, yeah, JP looked good. He looks – I mean, but he's shown this before, right? We've seen JP Mason be good before. Run with power.
You got to use that energy. I remember making the one little thing where, JP Mason – he did his one run. I made a little skit where he was like doing Aiyuk, and he's a ball of freaking. He's like he's people compare him to Marshawn Lynch for a reason, but he's coming with that energy. He's coming. He runs. He kind of runs like Pacheco. It doesn't look like it, but he runs with violence. Like, you know what I'm saying, and that's what could wear a team down. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why not expend that energy? I know you don't want everybody to get hurt, but you got that energy on the bench, spare the other players, spare CMC, if CMC can't do it himself, Kyle, yoke up when the times are right and protect your damn players. Like, come on, man. It's not just about parties, bro.
Hey, Jordan Mason he was self-reflective with the media this offseason. I'm sure you guys saw it, but he said it himself. Hey, I didn't know what I was doing on non-running plays. So that's part of the reason. Well, that's the main reason why Shanahan didn't want to put him out there. You have to impress Bobby Turner, the legendary running back coach. If he says you're good to go, Kyle will put him in. But that's the main reason why Jordan Mason wasn't getting run in the last 2 seasons. So it seems like that's changed now. We even saw Jordan Mason catch the ball out the backfield. He showed that he's been he said in the offseason that he rented a jug machine, used his own money to try to get better at his craft. So I applaud him in that, and hopefully we'll see those those strides to be better. Hopefully we'll actually see it in real game time. But that's a lesson for the kids. You have to put in the work. Just because you're on the NFL team, you still got to work harder than the next guy. And if you don't, you're not going to get no burn in the game. It's that simple. So hopefully we will see Jordan Mason in some regular season games. Appreciate you for tuning in to the stream, Tile Rob. Appreciate that. Let's get into, if anyone wanted to finish off on anything, let me know, but let's get into a different topic. Amin, did you have something, or are you straight?
I'm all right for right now. Okay. But one quick question. You know what? You brought it to my mind. Baller, one more time, Baller. I got to hit you up one more time because, I hit you with a Braden Willis question. And then, there was a Broncos fan in the chat. Uh-oh. And then he got me thinking about Zach Wilson, and Zach Wilson had a 3-touchdown game the other week. Even though it was a preseason game, Zach Wilson was out here cooking. And when I saw that, instantly I thought about Barry a Baller and how, Zach Wilson redemption arc happening maybe in Denver. But what you think about that, Baller?
Hey, Zach's going to come back with vengeance, man. He's going to get an opportunity, maybe not this year, but 2, 3, 4 years down the road. Zach's going to get another shot. He's going to be a little bit wiser. And, he ain't going to be no Brock Purdy, but I think he can still be a decent QB in this league.
I guess we'll see. Is he scheduled to start for the Broncos? I have no idea.
Negative.
Nah, Bo Nix.
Oh, Bo Nix. Ah, okay.
Okay. Hey, Jay, one more question to the crew, but Trey Lance, though.
You took it from me. I was going to be like,
Who
We
is
live
that?
in a world. We live in a world where Trey Lance and Zach Wilson are going to be. They should be serviceable backups for years to come. You know who? I mean, who would have thought, man?
I mean, every quarterback has had that 5 interception game, right? Oh,
Hey, but they ain't even talking about how he completed it to like 20 different receivers, broke an NFL record in a preseason game. Look, just hating every chance they get.
hey, he needs every rep he can get. You know, Trey was looking to the left, he was looking to the right, but you know he needs those reps. So you know, hopefully he'll get better, man. Who knows? He could be the starter next year in Dallas. Who knows? I guess you know, time will tell. Let's get into real quick. Talk about some players on both sides of the ball who are unproven in red and gold, but you think that'll have an impact. So, for instance, I'll go first. Obviously, a huge, a huge something that was missing from our defense last year was definitely the run defense. We saw where teams were gashing us, especially in the playoffs. The interior of the defense was getting gashed up front. And we brought over Malik Collins, who's more of, to me, he's more of a pass rusher to me than a run stuffer. But we also have Jordan Elliott. And I think Jordan Elliott could be a guy he doesn't have a big name. He is a veteran, though. It'll be his first year with the Niners, but I think he could pay off if he's able to slow down the run game. Now, Jordan Elliott last year, he played on the played on the Cleveland Browns, one of the best run defenses out there. Jordan Elliott had a 6-stop run rate against opposing running backs. So obviously that's pretty good. He started 14 games last year. He played on 40% of the snaps. So I think if we slow down the run, I think he's going to have to play a big part. So it's not a sexy name. No one's going to buy his jersey this year, but I think Jordan Elliott on that defensive front, I think he can make an impact in the amount of snaps he has, and hopefully he can slow down the run, because I think that's one area of the defense that was lacking. We know Greenlaw. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. I don't think Greenlaw is going to play until December. That's just me. He's coming back from a torn Achilles. Devondre Campbell, I thought he looked good in preseason, but I think we're going to have to be able to let the linebackers run free, and the defensive tackles are going to have to, eat up those blocks from the offensive linemen. And I think Jordan Elliott can play a big role in that. And we'll see what Malik Collins can do. It seemed to me he was more of a pass rusher. So what do you guys think? Offensive guy or defensive guy who you think that can make an impact on this squad who's unproven? Anyone can go.
Renardo Green. I think he might have. I almost said Yadam, but I was kind of looking for the guy who might, have the biggest door for him to just, kind of just walk through. And I feel like they both got the opportunity. And I also feel like that could be the biggest reason to win in a Super Bowl this year. If there is the biggest difference for me, it's you take out Oliver, you take out Thomas, and you slide in Renardo Green and Yadam and mix and match a couple guys throughout the secondary. And I'm feeling way more confident, not rolling through the season to start off with Oliver. So I'm going to say Renardo Green, man. I think he's just another dog on our squad. I think he switched from 31. What number did he go to? I think he switched numbers too. So that might look.
Did he go to 0?
He took Womack's number, so hopefully that 0 is the greatest number out there for him. And yeah, man, that's what I'm excited about. That's who I think is going to get the op to take it, and I think I don't know. I feel more confident about him compared to guys like first season with a Womack or a Luter or even Lenore. His first season, I feel like Green's going to come in and he's going to be that guy from the jump.
What say you, E?
No, I got to go back to the rookie that you were talking about earlier, Jacob Cowing. Now, this kid, guys, I was looking at his collegiate stats, and it was like 1,000-yard season after 1,000-yard season, 1,000 yards. I ended up just looking up, like, historically, Jacob Cowing's top 10 all time in receptions in college football history. And not only that, he's top 10 in yardage. He just had massive amounts of production. And, the wide receiver position was one that I did kind of scout in the lead up to the draft. And there were 3 or 4 like little tiny jitterbug wide receivers is what I kind of call them. They're small, they're quick. And I wrote on Cowing's notes, this is by far the best small receiver in the draft. And he's going to give you what we wanted from Danny Gray. Like, he's got that speed element to him, but he's just a more polished receiver. Like, I was holding out hope for Danny Gray because I do see the athleticism. I saw some explosiveness, but he was really raw as a receiver, running his routes and catching the ball with his hands. But Cowing, that's not an issue. With so many weapons on this team, Cowing's not going to catch more than maybe like 20, 25 balls, but I think they could come at some crucial times. And I think he's going to be the punt returner for this team. So hopefully he makes a play on special teams.
Hey, well said. What say you, Amin the Dream?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right, I'm gonna go with Jair Brown. I think obviously with the absence of Tana Ufanga, even though he played well for us last year, I think Jair Brown will get the opportunity to do that once again. I think Jair Brown will shine in that role. And not like on defense, if we're going one player on defense, but obviously Dominic Pooney, I think this year will also be really, really good for us starting on that offensive line. I think he'll be a pretty solid player for us as well. So those are probably my 2 picks. Did all y'all go? All right, I got one side question for y'all then. Since we're talking about unproven players, who's that one player? Because I feel like there's one thing I keep track of, but every year on the 49ers, there's that one player that every Niners fans know they have a good year. They have a good year every night. They become, Niners fans start to know about them. Like we had George Hill in 2017 or was it 2018? You had Deebo Samuel in that 2019 year. You had Fred Warner in that COVID season where he was just balling out. You have Dre Greenlaw. And then last year was Brandon Aiyuk, who people are starting to put more respect on their names and they started getting league-wide recognition. So who's that player this year that Niners fans know about, but that might not get as much recognition from the league, and they're going to have that year again this year where they're going to improve on their season from last year, and then the league will finally start to, be like, all right, this guy's a dog. We got to start putting more respect on his name. Last year was Brandon Aiyuk, I feel like. Last year was Brandon Aiyuk where, Brandon Aiyuk, we all Niners fans knew him. He was really productive for us the last couple of years, but the league wasn't giving him that top receiver recognition. And he finally got that last year. But who's that guy this year?
I think Kenny's got it. Demo Lenore. I mean, he's in a contract year. He's going to be lining. He's going to be playing the slot. He's going to be playing outside. I think he's continuing to excel. I think camp reports said that he was one of the better defensive players, or the best defensive player out there. So I think it's Demo for sure.
I got one. JP Mason. And let me tell you, it's not ideal because if JP Mason has this huge year, it tells you probably something happened with CMC. None of us want that to happen. But if it did, I think JP Mason, like if he's a free agent in your fantasy league, like go add him, keep him just in case. Like right now, CMC, he has the calf. Like we've been pretty lucky with McCaffrey's health, in his tenure with the Niners. But ask the Panthers, like there were a couple of years where like he missed some chunks of seasons, with ankles or soft hammies, So, I wouldn't, obviously we don't want that, but if it did, like I think JP Mason could be thrusted into this just premier role where he's getting the rock, 18, maybe 20 times a game. And what is he? He's averaging over 5 yards a clip for his career. Not a huge sample size, but it's like, and a lot of those carries are coming at the end of the game when the Niners already have a lead. It's like the defense knows like they're just trying to run the ball, run the clock out, and JP Mason's still going for 5 yards a clip.
Mm-hmm.
So JP Mason is my answer. I mean,
And I thought Amin was gonna question. I thought he was gonna ask a different question. I thought he was gonna lead it up saying who's gonna have that down year. And so then as he was asking the question, I was already thinking CMC. And then you brought it full circle, baller. So that was pretty good because I was like, I could see CMC having a little bit one way or another, whether it's just someone stepping up and saying, hey, we need to run our team a little different this year, or hopefully it's not injury. But yeah, man.
I was gonna say, what would that look like if CMC had a down year? What would you think would be the number one reason for that?
Just a little bit more load management. Just
And you think that'll come from Kyle? Or because I know CMC is definitely not going to take himself out.
I think it's injury.
Yeah,
you think it'd be for injury? Okay,
that's the only thing I could really think of. Like if if he's injured and he's still playing, like you might notice he's zapped of a little bit of juice. So maybe then he's not the same guy, but he's still out there. But it's CMC's elite. The only thing that can hold him back is injury, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for CMC to have a down year, it would be troubling. And honestly, him having the reoccurring calf injury, I'm not sure if it was on the same leg. I don't know if they specified, but we know he had that similar issue last year. And it is concerning that it's already like a nagging thing to him, and we haven't even played week 1. So yeah, you guys might be right. JP Mason might be in line for a much improved year. So
he hasn't had 2 healthy seasons in a hot minute. Like I still remember the Panthers year. Was it 2020 when he was on the Panthers and he was just balling out, straight balling out? And like Christian McCaffrey was like 3rd on the top 100. He was like 6th that year. And then the year after, Christian McCaffrey just got banged up from like the start of the season. And that whole year was just him battling injury, having a game, then missing a game. It was just him battling injury that whole entire year.
Yeah. So when we traded for him, he pretty much played every game. And then last year, he only missed 1 game, but that was at the end of the, that was the last game of the year. We had nothing to play for. So yeah, you're right. He hasn't really had a back-to-back season of playing every game, not since 2018, 2019. So it's a long time ago. So,
and then we did really good last year staying healthy, because hearing those words makes me think of Kyle. Not Kyle, but just I think Kyle has had Matt Ryan's the only quarterback who has played back-to-back years. You know what I'm saying? Healthy years for Kyle. And it says, hey, it's the NFL. Quarterbacks get hurt. It's not saying, but it's something that did not bite us last year, which was kind of rare. So it wouldn't surprise me if some stuff pops up. It happens, but hopefully it does not happen to Brock or CMC for sure.
Yeah, and we talked about it earlier, Baller, but especially with BA missing the entire training camp. And we're going to expect him to still be, at the top of his conditioning. That's just not really expected. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how many snaps BA plays week 1. And we may see Cowling a little bit more. We may see a little bit more of Jennings. But hopefully Aiyuk gets ramped up and he's just not like, okay, if we have 35, 40 offensive plays, how many do we expect him to play? Like less than half, just to get him going. Hopefully we ease him back into the game. That's what I'm hoping for. Because we've already mentioned Trent, and he's not going to have any training camp. So it'd be interesting to see what they allow for BA as far as his snaps.
Y'all remember when like this team used to get so injured? Like I still remember Jeff Wilson sat on a chair and then he got hurt. Like this team used to get hit by the injury bug. Like it was some sort of curse. I don't know if someone was doing black magic on the 49ers. Like, I don't know what it was, but like guys would get hurt doing the most basic things. That 2020 year, man, like that year was rough.
I mean, that man Rick was just trying to, go shopping down in Union Square, man. Talk about, yeah. The one thing I will say on a positive note, because it's not funny or anything like that. But one thing on a positive note, you will get the entire experience with the San Francisco 49ers. You will get it all. Whatever all of it is, you're gonna get every piece of it, or for entertainment, for talent. That is one thing I'll say. You know, the 49ers are a rare team. I don't think there's too many teams in the NFL outside of Kansas City that's got this kind of hype and characters and just, you know, everything that surrounds it, you know. So you're going to get the whole thing when it comes to a Kyle Shanahan team. And we're getting it every freaking slice of it.
No, absolutely. You can't just pinpoint your game plan defensively on one guy, because then other guys will get open. So that's part of the perks of being on a squad with a lot of players that can make plays. I can't really key on one guy. But I agree with what Quattro said about CMC being the focus of the offense, but he doesn't necessarily have to carry the offense throughout the entire year. So hopefully Shanahan has that approach. I mean, you know, hopefully CMC, especially with him being banged up already, I don't think he should get more than, 15, 18 touches a game just to start off with, just ease him in. I think that would make sense to me.
And Jay, and like I was saying it last year, I know y'all were also, but JP Mason, the one thing that I love about JP Mason is, unlike Christian McCaffrey, where he's shifty, he got the moves, he's elegant, right? The thing about JP Mason is he's just got that dog. Like there's even since JP Mason's been on this team, like there would be times where like the play would get blown up in the backfield and JP Mason's just fighting three guys and picking up that extra 2 yards, or making it, instead of a negative play, making it a positive play. Like I wouldn't mind seeing JP Mason being a third down back for us if it's like a 3rd and 2, a 3rd and short, where you need a 2 yards on a 3rd down or 3 yards on a 3rd down. And Christian McCaffrey already got his 15 to 18 carries. Like, give JP Mason an opportunity on a 3rd and 2, on a 3rd and 3. Like, JP Mason, the one thing that I've seen, like, he'll fight for it. Like, he'll fight for the extra yards. Even if the play gets blown up on the backfield, like, he'll fight for those extra yards. And that's one thing that I've noticed about JP Mason. Like, he's got that dog in him. Like, he'll fight, and he'll give it his all on every play. So 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, like, get JP Mason involved. Like, get him involved. I would probably be pretty confident him picking up that 1st down. So get JP Mason involved more.
I feel like we've been saying that for like a couple of years now, though, and it's like it don't happen.
And I mean, even George Kittle will come out and just be like, "Man, there is no greater joy than just to run straight." Just like what is the play called, Power 16 or whatever? He's like, "There's no greater joy than to know that we're just going to play it as vanilla as possible." And just willpower, and just like try to run it, and they love it and they take pride in it. And then Shanahan always likes to pull away from it, and I hesitate to even talk.
Hey, that's a nice USA lid you got there, baller. Just had to shout you out there. That's fresh.
I had to pick it up. Olympics. I was feeling a little festive.
Absolutely.
A little USA hat.
Is that different though? Is that like it reminds me of the '92 Dream Team when I
see
it.
Does look old school.
One of these sides has a little.
Oh yeah, that's the old school one. That's clean.
Yeah. The Dream
That's clean. Let's see. Real quick, for those that haven't heard me say this before, the Straight Outta the Bay crew will have a fantasy football league. The draft will be this Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. If you are interested, feel free to hit up Amin the Dream on X, on Twitter, whatever. Make sure you hit Amin the Dream. Let them know you're interested. Drafts in less than about 48 hours. We have a 10-person league. Should be lots of fun. Hey, come through if you are interested. We would appreciate it. Let's see. I wanted to talk about, what do you guys expect? Let's see. Are there any you guys have any closing thoughts on the 49ers offseason? Just real quick. Are you feeling positive about the squad? Are you down? Before we go into the Niners and Jets prediction. So real quick, general thoughts on the 49ers offseason, preseason, training camp. You guys positive? You guys are down? You're concerned? Feel free.
Man, I feel like, look, Trent Williams and Dre Greenlaw are arguably two of the biggest dogs on our team, along with, Fred Warner, Aiyuk, just on the field, just the violence and the presence that they play with. So I hesitate, but I am extremely excited about our secondary, which I think is the strongest that we've ever had, under Shanahan. So that brings me optimism. And then the durability on the defensive line, with the Floyd, Elliott, like you've mentioned numerous times, Jay, and the Collins, a few guys. We're bringing, guys who have played football, full seasons. And yeah. And then, so I'm very optimistic. I think Trent's going to come back. I think Dre's going to come back. And I don't know how that's going to look. And I want to do, it's Super Bowl year again, but, I want to see Kyle grow. I want to see the trust continue to build. I want to see, just that quarterback head coach relationship build. It might even get ugly. There might be a few things. I hope we get to see that, but it's hard without Greenlaw. It's hard until we see these guys play a couple games. What kind of fight are they going to come with? Every team is different. Other teams are hungry. Other teams are talented and they're growing as well. So I'm cautiously optimistic. That's how I feel.
The vibe's been off, in my opinion. The vibe this off season, the training camp, it's hard to put your finger on it. Is it the contractual holds up with Aiyuk and Trent? Something just feels a little bit off. That being said, it's like, man, I'm looking at the NFC, dude. The Niners are still the team to beat. Like, we got to figure it out. The earlier part of our schedule seems a bit easier than, the latter half of the schedule. So getting off to a slow start, I think, would hurt because the games are going to get tougher later on down the road. So even though the vibe seems to be off, this team's got to start out, 4-1 or 5-2, something like that. We can't start off below 500 through our first 6 weeks because this is the easier part of our schedule. I'm not counting this team out, dude. It's still. Trust me, fellas, the Super Bowl window, like last year, I think was like the peak. I think that was like the peak squad. We're gonna have to pay Purdy pretty soon. But that being said, the Super Bowl window is still open. How long is it going to be open? Is it this year and then another year, 2 more years? I don't know. But the window is going to start to close here pretty soon. So it's like there's some urgency, fellas. Let's get it done, and I think we can.
I'm gonna be on the less optimistic side. I don't know, Baller. I feel like last year was the opportunity to win the Super Bowl. The 2019 year, there was still Jimmy G at quarterback, but last year you had Chase Young. You made the move, right? Like the Emmanuel Sanders move in 2019, you made the move middle of the season, and even that Super Bowl, even that Super Bowl run, the Packers game, probably, let's be real, should have been an L. The Lions game should have been an L, but Dan Campbell and that team choked that lead and blew that lead. But looking at this year, like the Rams with a healthy Stafford, with a healthy Cooper Kupp, the Rams got better. The Eagles changed their coordinators, right? That offense wasn't great last year. The Eagles got Saquon Barkley and changed their coordinators. They got better. Like the Packers, who were an unexperienced team last year, they got the experience. They made it in the playoffs. Jordan Love has his first playoff experience. He beats Dallas, and he almost beat the 49ers, right? Like, looking at the vibes already of this team, I'm not saying that the Niners can't make it back to the Super Bowl, or, they can't win the Super Bowl this year, or they don't have an opportunity to be the number 1 seed. But at the same time, just the way the season's already starting off, and the NFC is not getting any easier. The NFC, if not, the rest of the NFC teams, if not, got better this year. So it's only going to be harder for the 49ers if they really want to make it to the Super Bowl. And when was the last time you've seen the same team go back to the Super Bowl in back-to-back years? Like, it hasn't been done, except unless you have a Patrick Mahomes at quarterback or a Tom Brady at quarterback. Like, the odds of a team making it back to the Super Bowl in back-to-back years, it's not really common, Baller. So, like, as much as I'm excited for this football season, But like, if I'm just being honest and realistic about it, I still think this Niners team has a really good shot, but it's not going to be as easy. Last year was the year. If they really wanted to get it done, it was last year to win that Super Bowl. I don't know if that's the case this year. Like, I still think they're good enough, but it's just so much harder if it's so much harder to reach that goal of what they want to achieve than it was last year or the years prior. Like, I still feel like it's just so much harder for the Niners. The road is harder.
No, well said. Well said by everyone. Steve-O, what's going on, man? What's up with you, Steve-O? You need some love in your life, man. You just come here to be positive, Steve-O.
I haven't looked at any comment the entire sub, but I'm going to pop them open now. No.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Steve-O. Hopefully you have a better day, man. But regarding the offseason, it was tough. It was definitely tough. Just the constant drama, for sure. Definitely wasn't something that I mean, it's hard not to be interested in it. You're a fan, but it was just draining. It was just draining hearing about BA and now Trent. So that was definitely annoying. I think the Niners had a pretty good draft so far. I mean, we definitely got some guys who we think will contribute in the regular season. So that's definitely something to look forward to. Brock is back. He got married. He's yoked. Brock could only get better at this point. So I'm optimistic about the season. I just can't wait till 5:15, 5:20 kickoff, nighttime at Levi's. That's what I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I'm optimistic about. I just want to see some football. Honestly, like I don't even care. Like if Trent don't play, all right, he doesn't play. Like I don't like the guys that are in the locker room that want to be here. They here. I don't really care if he doesn't play or not. Do I want him to be out there? Of course, but he's made his stance. I'm gonna root for the guys that are, on the field. So, but I'm looking forward to the game. I'm looking forward to Thursday night football coming up. I'm just looking forward to seeing football again. And that's what I'm saying. Steve-O, why are you so mad, man? We got football coming up, man. You got college football over the weekend. Like, you should be happy, man. But anyway, just wanted to reach out to Steve-O. Appreciate everyone who's tuning into the stream right now. If you're enjoying yourself, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe to all these gentlemen's YouTube channels, Rich Kelts, Amin the Dream 13, Bay Area Baller 18. We will be here every Monday night. I think eventually we'll be on everyone's show at the same time. But we appreciate everyone rocking out with us. We will be going through more comments. But I think that's it for 49er talk. We got one more topic. We'll talk about the Jets real quick. Just, I guess, real quick. Also, the chat too. Feel free to leave your thoughts about who do you think is going to win this game. What do you think is going to happen? A quick score. And then I would love to get everyone's thoughts on some NFL predictions. So let's start it off with the 49ers versus Jets. We got the return of Robert Saleh coming back to Levi's. You got Javon Kinlaw. You got Aaron Rodgers. He hasn't played in a year, torn Achilles. He didn't play any preseason games. So, what do you expect? And leave a score for the game. And obviously who's going to win. Let's start off with Bay Area Baller.
Anytime that the Niners are about to play Aaron Rodgers, like I already know Aaron Rodgers' game plan, okay? And it hasn't worked, by the way. Hasn't worked. But when Rodgers plays the Niners, like he fears the defensive front, Nick Bosa and these boys. So Aaron Rodgers, the game plan is going to be to get the ball out quick, right? Let me remind you, the guy got hurt in the first quarter of the game last year, missed the whole season. Like he doesn't want to get hit. A-Rod is going to try to get the ball out quick. They're going to try to hit you with like some screens to Malachi Corley and get Garrett Wilson on like some slants. So it's going to be, you got to tackle well, right? Because anytime a quarterback's getting the ball out quick and giving them yards after catch opportunities, you got to tackle, you got to take good angles. That's first and foremost. And then the other thing is you got to stop Breece Hall. Breece Hall is one of the best backs in the NFL. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. They improved their offensive line. Like last year, the Jets O-line was a joke. This year, they brought in Tyron Smith. They brought in a few guys to improve that offensive line. So I'm going to say stop the run and Breece Hall, and then you got to tackle well because the game plan for A-Rod's going to be get the ball out quick, maybe throw a couple shots down the sideline to Garrett Wilson, but for the most part, it's going to be get the ball out quick.
What's your
We're doing
score?
score predictions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Score, I'm going to say this is two good defenses. So I'm going to say it's 24-17 Niners.
All right, 24-17 Niners. Okay. Who you got, Kelts?
All right. Oh, you already know. Nah, but Baller made a good point, man. It's versus Aaron Rodgers. I got all the confidence. I don't care if the Jets are rolling in with the worst team or the best team. It's like it's the first game of the year. That's one thing. So like anything can happen on the first game of the year. I mean, Detroit is a really good team, but went into Kansas City and beat them the first game of the year last year. I believe it was on Monday night to open up the season, or it could have been Thursday. I don't know, but wild stuff can happen first few games of the year. But I think, the 49ers are going to put on a show. It's going to be prime time, and we always show up for prime time. It's nothing like Sam Darnold, or no, wait, Kirk Cousins, my bad. It's nothing like Kirk Cousins in prime time. I think we're going to see all of our guys touch the ball. We're going to see some bootlegs. We're going to see Purdy, do his little Houdini in the backfield without Trent probably, and I think he's going to make some plays. I think it will be a little higher score, just because maybe I feel like the offense might. I don't know. Maybe it's the defense who does better when things aren't going so well, but I think it's going to be higher score, prime time. Should be beautiful weather. I think it's going to be 31-24 Niners.
You want to hit us with it, Jay? Because I feel like you always since you the host, you always be hitting us with it last. So like, hit us with it, Jay.
Are you talking about the Niners and Jets playing on Monday Night Football prime time? Okay,
there it is.
Who you got, Amin?
Obviously I got the 49ers, and like I want, even though it's a little flashback, but I still remember, like I wasn't alive, but after seeing us play the Rodgers with the Packers a lot, that quote, Aaron Rodgers, the reporter walks up to Aaron Rodgers on draft night, "How disappointed will you be, Mr. Rodgers, that the 49ers didn't draft you?" And I quote, he says, not as disappointed as, okay, I'm botching the quote, man, okay. Not as disappointed as the 49ers will be for not drafting me. And look at how that ended up. Couple of playoff losses here, couple of playoff losses there. No big deal. You know what I'm saying? No big deal. Niners eliminated the Packers the last couple of years when they were the 1 seed, 13-3. Both times the Niners took them out. And one time the Niners didn't even score an offensive touchdown. Like, they didn't even score an offensive touchdown to beat you, Rodgers. But it's all good.
Said, Aaron Rodgers is still right. I wish they did take Aaron Rodgers.
I wish they took Aaron Rodgers also, but no, but when you think about it, though, would Rodgers be Rodgers with the 49ers? That's another hypothetical for another time. But would Aaron Rodgers be Aaron Rodgers that we know today with the 49ers and how bad they were for that in that time period? But I got the 49ers. Both defenses will be coming out ready to play. I hope Trent is back, I hope Trent is back. But nonetheless, game plan, stop Breece Hall. Like, get Breece Hall, don't miss tackles, number one, because that's an issue the Niners have in general. Even in the preseason, like, guys are already missing tackles. Like, we can't let that happen. The defensive line, like, I want to see something from this defensive line, and mainly Bosa. Like, Bosa, I love you, Nick Bosa. I'm glad we gave you that money. But last year, I was just a little disappointed, man. I was a little disappointed. In hypotheticals we were talking about last year, I would have traded you for Max Crosby. I remember we talked about that last year. But, like, you were a little bit disappointed, man. Like, I want you to come out here and wreak havoc on Aaron Rodgers. Like, I want you to go out there and do your thing. I need at least one sack from Nick Bosa on Monday night. But, yeah, I got the 49ers. I'm going to say 23-20. Jake Moody, end of the game, has an opportunity to kick a game-winning field goal. Robbie Gold style, end of the game, late in the game. Robbie Gold style to give the Niners a win 23-20 on Monday Night Football. Give me the 49ers.
Ooh, getting Jake Moody into action. I like that. G12. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think Reddick will be coming to the Niners. Nah, I don't think that's gonna come to fruition.
Isn't that the dude who hit? That's the same dude who hit Purdy's elbow. Hell nah.
Yeah, can't bring him on the squad. Can't bring him. Let's see. I think the Niners will for sure win.
Oh yeah. Oh, just real quick. Steve-O, shut your mouth and can't you slide or can't you just go to the next chance? Like whatever you got to do, bro. just get on now.
Absolutely.
I couldn't help it, bro. I tried for a while.
Absolutely. Hey, I think the Niners will win. I think we frustrate Aaron Rodgers. And as Amin the Dream mentioned it earlier, it's going to start with the front four. So, Bosa has no excuses. He had a full training camp. Hey, he's the richest edge rusher in the NFL, or top 2, top 3, whatever it is. So he's got to come out and have a hell of a game. I'm looking towards Fred Warner as well, having a hell of a game. And I think someone mentioned in the chat earlier, Garrett Wilson will be a problem. I think Kenny said it. So that should be a good matchup to look at.
Mike Williams also.
So that should be a good matchup. And Rodgers.
I ain't worried about Mike Williams.
Not worried about Mike Williams? No. Maybe he'll high point the ball. Maybe on those 50-50 balls, he could be a problem. But you mentioned earlier, Baller, that the Jets, they kind of retooled their offensive line. They brought in Tyron Smith at the left tackle. They brought in Morgan Moses at the right tackle. Those guys are old. They're kind of, they're not in the prime of their career. So hopefully Leonard Floyd and Bosa will have the best of them. And, they'll create. I want to see a frustrated Aaron Rodgers. That's the type of, the one that quits, when it doesn't go his way. That's the type of Aaron Rodgers I want to see next Monday. But I got the Niners winning this. I'm going to say 23-17. 23-17. And if you're in the chat right now, feel free to leave your prediction of the game as well. I wanted to hit you guys with some quick just NFL predictions that I thought would be fun. Let's see. Let's get into real quick. Which opening week game are you most excited to watch? Let's start off with Bay Area Baller. Other than the Niners game, of course.
I haven't really dove deep into the week 1 schedule, but I know who's playing on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a good one. When you got Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. That was the AFC Championship from last year, if I'm not mistaken. So that has some juice on the line. I believe it's in KC.
Yep.
Lamar, he's just so physically talented. He's so fast. He's so dynamic of a player. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. Like, if Lamar has an A game, they could beat anybody, because his A game is – throwing for 300 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns, and then having another 80 or 100 yards on the ground with another touchdown. Like, if Lamar has his A game, Baltimore's going to win. That being said, that's easier said than done. So that Thursday night, just to open up the NFL season, you get home from work, pop a squat on the couch, grab a cold one. Not you, Amin, but most of us of age.
A Capri Sun.
It's gonna be fun, man. I think that's a good game Thursday night. That's what I'm gonna roll with.
Hey, who you got, Amin?
Man, speaking of Capri Sun, y'all heard they're like making Capri Suns in a bottle now. Like, they're trying to be environmentally friendly. They're trying to change Capri Suns and put them in like a bottle. That. Like, they're getting rid of like the whole pouch and straw thing, man. I got issues with Capri Sun, man. Like, no more pouch and the straw. Like, that's messed up, man. That's messed up.
No, that's a whole experience.
That's what I'm saying, Kels. That's what I'm saying. Like,
and then you mess up with the straw sometimes, and it turns into a struggle. But it's like you remember those struggles.
Yeah,
man. My game of the week is the Lambs against the Lions. The Rams against the Lions. Sunday night football, the game before the 49ers and Jets. Playoff game last year, Rams Lions, like that was a battle. Matthew Stafford, second time going back to Detroit, Ford Field, a healthy Cooper Kupp, a second year Puka Nacua, like that's gonna be a dog fight. I love me some Chiefs and some Ravens, but I mean the Chiefs are gonna be the Chiefs. They're gonna come out and do their thing. I think Mahomes and the Chiefs get that done, but the Lions and the Rams, like that could go either way, man. That could go either way, and so could the Rams and the Ravens and Chiefs game, but I just feel like after that last game was that playoff game, and how that they both had their issues in that game. The Lions injured Tyler Higbee. According to Rams fans, the Lions injured Tyler Higbee in that game, and Rams fans and Lions fans on Twitter don't really like each other after that playoff game. So the fan base is into it. The teams are into it. So I'm excited for that one. I'm really excited for that one. I'm gonna go with the Lions and the Rams.
That was my pick, and almost for all the reasons you said, I don't think there's anything. Yeah, man. Hey, look at the Rams. Look how close the Rams really were to being right there in the NFC Championship with us. We can, sometimes I think we build these pictures up, or I build certain pictures up in my head, just paying attention to just the Niners, not looking at some of the other teams, or but things switch quick, man. And like Amin alluded to earlier, saying, we could have lost that Lion game. We could have lost that Packer game. The Rams are right there as well. They're going to come back. The defense is awful. But, hey, man, if you could squeak into the playoffs, anything can happen. So that's the one game I was looking at, the NFC playoff team. So I'll go with the Eagles. And, God, who are they playing? Whoever the Eagles, because I know they're playing someone. Who is it? The Eagles and Packers. I'll go with that game.
Ooh, that is pretty good.
Hey, man, these are all teams that should be right there, that we might see. Of course, the Ravens and KC, that's popcorn right there. So we're going to be on all of these, and I'm going to be looking closely at all the top, teams in the NFC. And who knows, there might be somebody that surprises. There might be a surprise team. The Bears,
The Bears.
They got the weapons. We'll see what the Rook looks like.
Speaking of the Bears, we're probably going to get into them later, but you guys picked who I had in mind: Ravens at Chiefs, and then the Rams at the Lions. Those to me were the two games I'm most excited to watch, and they're going to be on national TV, so that doesn't hurt. Real quick, worst team in the NFL this year. I'm going with the New England Patriots. Who you got, Kelts?
Damn, I haven't thought about it. God, I almost want to say the Colts always be fighting, man. So it's hard to ever put them somewhere like that. You know what? I'll go with the Giants.
Giants. Oh, okay. What say you, Amin? I see you thinking.
Nah, I got it's Pats. Their schedule. People have been talking about on Twitter. That schedule is brutal, man. That's a rough schedule. If the Giants, I'm not saying Daniel Jones is great, but if he can stay healthy, I still think they have some winnable games. The Patriots, on the other hand, like they got the schedule as if they won the division last year or something. Like, I don't know what the NFL schedule makers were thinking, but y'all giving the Patriots a schedule as if they came back from winning back-to-back Super Bowls or something. That's a rough schedule. So I gotta go with the Pats.
The Pats are definitely up there. There's just not a lot of talent on that roster when you're looking at it. I'll say, the Raiders, the Vegas Raiders. What are we thinking about them? And then the other team I'm not feeling good about is Denver. And I'm not a big Sean Payton guy. I don't know. I root against Sean Payton for some reason. Just think he's kind of arrogant. It's okay if my coach is arrogant, but if someone else's coach is arrogant, then I don't like him.
As soon as you said Sean Payton, I was like, man, he kind of reminds me of Kyle a little bit, man. And then you got there.
Said, I was like, Kelts is like baller. We got the most arrogant fucking coach in the league. I knew. The Broncos. I don't think they're going to be very good.
Yeah, I wrote down the Broncos as well. Real quick, worst to first team In the AFC and NFC, I'll go first. I'll say the Chicago Bears and go Chargers. Go. That's what I'm going with.
Man, who was the worst?
This one's tricky. I don't remember who the worst teams were.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals. The Bengals from the AFC. Like they were not. I don't know if they made the playoffs last year. They might have.
Did they just miss it? Because I know Burrow.
Yeah, but the Bengals are one that are gonna make the playoffs this year. I think they bounce back. It's not necessarily a 0 from first, but it's like not making the playoffs and making the playoffs. Yeah, I think with a healthy Burrow on that team, the Bengals, NFC. Ooh. Even though I don't believe in them, I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender, but I think they have a chance to win the division and make it to the playoffs and might beat a team in the wild card. I'm gonna go with the Falcons with Big Kirko. I'm gonna go.
Damn
with
it, mean.
You
took. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna roll with the Falcons. I'm with the mean on this one. I think the Falcons could be kind of sneaky. I feel like in the NFC, there's kind of a clear cut like top 4. And I'm going to say that's the Niners, Lions, Eagles, and Packers. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like the top 4.
No Rams, father? No Rams?
You think the Rams are better than the Packers?
I mean, I'm going to be real. I think the one team that scares me the most in the playoffs is the Rams. I think the Rams scare me the most in the playoffs.
If Stafford stays healthy, we'll see.
If Stafford stays healthy with Cooper Kupp and Puka, I think they scare me. Their offensive line is also they revamped the offensive line. So
Jimmy G.
That team is.
I think they're kind of hurt. I think they got a couple injuries on the O line. Like, yeah, I got appropriate respect for the Rams. In the division, like they know the Niners very well. But the Falcons with what they did, like last year, they sucked. Now they bring in Kirk Cousins. Like they're finally going to get to see what Drake London can really do, what Kyle Pitts can really do. And then, fellas, Bijan Robinson, I haven't been able to draft him in any of my leagues yet. I'm in 4 leagues, but I really want Bijan. I think Bijan is about to have like a old school, like LaDainian Tomlinson kind of year. Well, I think Bijan is about to be unleashed. It wouldn't surprise me it wouldn't shock me if he outscored McCaffrey and was the RB1 on the year. Like, I think he's going to have 1,700 total yards, 15 to 18 touchdowns, catching 50, 60 balls. Like, I think Bijan is about to have a crazy year. The O-line's good. Having Kirk now, defenses are going to have to spread out and actually guard these receivers down the field. So Falcons, that's my sleeper team. I'm with Amin.
That Falcons team should be fun to watch, at least on offense. And I know they trade for Judon as well.
They made some moves, Judon, and then they signed Justin Simmons. Like they made a few moves to improve that defense too.
And the NFC South is just garbage. I mean, Carolina, the Saints.
Yeah.
I mean, no quarterbacks. So yeah, that should be interesting. Oh, well, Tampa Bay.
Baker Mayfield. No, I'm kidding.
You can't sleep on Baker.
Man, it's hard to pick anybody else besides. I mean, Atlanta. I mean, that feels like one of the main ones. You said Chicago. Man, the only other ones I'm even looking at that could even really be candidates are Carolina and Washington. But Washington, not saying worst to first, but I think Washington can be better. And I fully expect Carolina to be better. How could you be any worse? And And from the AFC, I don't even know, man. It's kind of first to worst, huh? Or worst to first. Yeah, probably the Chargers. I mean, they got sometimes you get that energy in the building, you get that spark, and you can ride it.
Oh, absolutely. That's what Harbaugh usually does in his first year. It'll be interesting to see if Herbert is better and who's he throwing to, but should be interesting.
What's he got, McConkey or something like that? Yeah, he's got someone over there. Yeah.
McConkey's tight end, wide receiver.
I think he's a wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
But I don't know who else they got. They got Williams still
because they got rid of Williams and Allen. So
okay, yeah.
Josh Palmer's expected to see some targets. He's a sneaky receiver. And then they got their draft pick from last year, Quentin Johnson.
He
Yeah,
was a disaster last year.
Yeah, I don't think he's very good, to be honest.
he's rough even this year. Like there's like videos from training camp. I remember early on in training camp of him dropping touchdowns, and yeah, it's not looking good
So
whatsoever.
it's in between the ears with him. Hopefully he can overcome that. So we'll see. Real quick, your NFL division winners. Let's start off with the AFC East. I got the Jets. Who you got? Amin the Dream.
Ooh, okay, you going Jets. I'm not a believer in Aaron Rodgers and that Jets team whatsoever. I don't think they're winning a Super Bowl. I don't have them as contenders. I'm gonna go with the Jets solely for the fact that the Bills lost. I think they win the division because the Bills lost. What's his name? Stephon Diggs. Like they're not as good of a team as they were last year. They're just not. Like Tre'Davious White is gone. Like that team is a little less. There's a little less experience. That has a little less experience from last year. Like I'm gonna go with the Jets. I think they win the division. I just don't believe they are legit contenders because Rodgers had a really good team in Green Bay and he couldn't do it against the Niners in the NFC. Moving to the AFC is not any easier. It's much harder, Rodgers. I don't think they're legit contenders, but I have them winning the division. I also don't believe in the Dolphins, so I'm gonna go with the Jets in the AFC East.
I'm gonna go Buffalo. I'm gonna roll with Josh Allen. That the defense. Hopefully Von Miller can stay on the field, make some plays. But Josh Allen. We're talking about a top 3 quarterback. James Cook. I like James Cook. Keon Coleman, the receiver out of Florida State. I think he's gonna have a pretty good rookie year as a receiver. Stephon Diggs is gone. Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel. Like they got some bodies. Like maybe they won't wow you, but I think they got some capable guys. So I'll go with the Bills.
Miami, Waddle, A-Kane,
Miami.
freaking Hill. I mean, speed on speed and on speed.
Who is garbage, Kelt? Garbage, I'm telling you.
I mean, they even got River Craycraft. I mean, come on. You got Mike McDaniels, the real genius. Tua his confidence is just through the roof after all that crap he had to listen to from Flores or whoever the hell it is. So, it's going to be Miami, even though I really think it's the Bills. But I got to be different. So we're going to see what happens.
Fake.
I got to be fake. My bad, y'all.
Do you guys think a wild card is coming out of the AFC East? I do. I'm taking the Finns as my wild card. Do you guys think a wild card team is coming out the AFC East? Who?
Yes. I mean, it's going to be this. They could have 3 teams make the playoffs out of this division.
Yeah.
Someone else is making it.
All righty. How about AFC West? I'll start off. I got the Bolts going out on a limb. I'm taking the Bolts to win the division. Of course, the Chiefs are going to make the wild card, but I got the Bolts winning the division. AFC West.
We might have to test. Test Straight Outta the Bay after this one.
How beautiful would that
Ray
be?
the Broncos is not going to make it.
Comes back and beats the Chiefs.
I don't think he's passing.
I'm going out on a limb. I didn't want to say the obvious. Well, does anyone else? Obviously, everyone else thinks the Chiefs, right? So, okay.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Jay, like Stephen A likes to say, stay off the lead. Like that's outrageous.
I'm going out on a limb. I'm taking a chance. You got Harbaugh in there. He motivates the hell out of guys. Who's got it better than us? Nobody.
The Chiefs got it better than them.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. So you're saying right now the Chiefs are going to beat the Chargers twice this year?
They might get a split, but that doesn't mean they're winning the division. Like they might get one game because Harbaugh knows how to motivate his guys and prepare his guys for a game. But sit up here and say that they win the division? Nah, they don't got the receivers. Like, I don't know.
Take it to Vegas and book it. All right, AFC North. Does anyone have anyone except Baltimore winning the AFC North? Does anyone want to make a case
Cincinnati.
for? You got
Cincy.
Cincinnati.
Cincy.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
so
Joe
you two
Burrow's
got
gonna have a big.
Oh,
He's having a big
Joe
bounce
Burrow.
back year.
Joe Burrow went with the Slim Shady. It's a
Okay.
wrap. It's a wrap. He's going full Slim Shady on it.
What say you? Amin the Dream?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Ravens after losing like that in the AFC Championship game. Like, you coming back with a chip on your shoulder to try to prove it again. And also, I've been hearing about like Jamar Chase's like contract issues. He's been not showing up to practice and things like that. It's a distraction, man. Like, it's a distraction. Will Joe Burrow be able to stay healthy this year again? Right? T. Higgins also, he had his issues with his contract in the offseason as well. Like, they lost some guys as also like, yeah, I honestly I think the Bengals probably make the playoffs, but I got the Ravens winning the division.
Yeah, it's funny. Oh,
I will say that it could be if they stay healthy, if Lamar, Henry, and freaking God, it's the running back I wanted to. Who's the speed back? Mitchell. Yeah, he burst onto the scene last year. Keaton Mitchell. If Mitchell. If those three guys stay healthy, man, that could be. I mean, that could be nice. Mitchell and freaking Henry. If Henry is young Henry, and that could be different right there. That could be scary if they stay healthy. So
it's interesting. Jamar Chase, I think he still has 2 years left on his contract, but he wants to re-up now. That's I would say I don't remember the last time that happened. It's kind of impressive.
So if
One
they
more
don't pay
stand.
him, does that mean he's going to sit out for 2 straight years?
bro,
Come on.
No way. Nah, he's
doesn't
not
he
gonna.
want? Doesn't he want one more penny?
Yeah, you want one more penny. You want more penny than Jefferson.
I thought I didn't know if it was fake or not. I seen.
That's what I've heard. He wants one more penny than Jefferson. Yeah, but yeah, there's no way he's gonna sit out. That makes no sense.
Danny Gray. We gave it everything we had, man. Hey, he got to come out in the tunnel a few times. He got to come out in the tunnel and with Trent and Debo and be the hype man for a half a year last year. So
remember that catch he had in preseason? Remember that preseason
just
catch?
like Trent Sherfield did too.
That 80-yarder did the Jerry. You win some, you lose some.
AFC, exactly. AFC South. Does anyone have anyone other than the Houston Texans winning the division? Does anyone want to go out on a limb, take a chance? Nope. Okay, so Texans, it's the first sweep. I'm writing these down though too, so that way we'll know. It's kind of fun to play with. NFC East. Does anyone have anyone other than the Eagles winning this division?
Just for the sake of this game.
I can't. Go ahead.
Yeah, just for the sake of this game, if everybody's going Eagles, God, I don't want to pick them, but I almost said Washington just to be funny. I'm gonna say Dallas. I'll make it quick.
Cowboys.
I was leaning Rich's way when he said the Commanders, but freaking, I'll go on the limb on this one. I'm gonna say Jaden Daniels has himself a rookie year, and this team ends up winning the division. And I think the Eagles and the Cowboys both have some injuries, unfortunately. So I'm gonna go with the Commanders winning the division.
I'm starting a little early, I mean.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm a believer. Let's say I'm a believer.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's my hot take right now. That's my hot take. The Washington
I think we got to
Commanders.
test the mean too. We got to test the mean.
The Washington Commanders end up.
I think the Chargers though have probably a better chance.
You had the cojones
than the Commanders,
because I almost wanted to do it, but
I'm doing it. I'm putting myself out on the limb.
Hey, that's how you do it. That's how you get far. Put yourself out there. NFC West. Do I even need to ask? Or does someone say, nah, we're going to have a down year. BA is going to be pouting.
Nah, Jay, listen.
Not going to be there.
This is what's going to happen, right? This is what's going to happen.
Are so horrible.
Speak to me, Amin. Tell it like it is, Amin.
This is what's going to happen, Jay. The script writers put it this way. Watch. Unfortunately, Brock Purdy gets hurt. Josh Dobbs comes in. Josh Dobbs leads his team to the Super Bowl. The 49ers end up winning the Super Bowl. And then we have the next offseason of, should Josh Dobbs be the future quarterback of the 49ers over Brock Purdy? Watch, that's how it's going to go down.
Wow.
You got Kyler Murray, James Conner, Marvin Harrison,
Uh-oh.
Trey McBride,
Don't
man.
do it,
These
Baller.
Cardinals.
Baller,
No,
don't
I'm,
you
I'm
dare.
Don't do it,
screwing with
Baller.
you. I'm
Don't do
screwing
it.
with you. We're going Niners.
Okay. So it sounds like it's going to be a clean sweep. Niners. Okay. Now NFC North. I think we could get 3 different answers on this. I'll start off. I'm going out on a limb. I think, a team reaching the NFC Championship game for the first time since, I don't know, 50 years ago or whatever. There may be a slight setback, maybe in the regular season. I'm taking, and I'm talking about, of course, the Detroit Lions, but I'm taking the Chicago Bears to win the NFC North.
Wow.
Who you got, Celts, in that NFC North?
NFC North. Yeah, man, it's hard to bet against, especially the weather in that division. I'm thinking about domes, but man, I don't know, man. I seen the way that offensive line pushed us around last year in Detroit, and I hated it. Halfway through the game, I'm looking up every one of their linemen on where they got drafted, and this is bullshit. And look at our philosophy, and we should have built the trenches. And hey, Detroit's going to be good until they ain't, man. And it feels like they're that young team, or they got that first taste last year, and they probably haven't peaked yet. So they're going to keep getting better. So I'm going to go Detroit.
Detroit.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Celts. I'm going with Detroit. I mean, on offense, dude, they got some talent on offense. When you're talking, Jahmyr Gibbs is electric back there. And
He's got that
Amon-Ra
hammy.
St. Brown.
Got that hammy.
Yeah, and David Montgomery he'll be just fine
Yeah.
until Gibbs comes back. And then Jamison Williams, I think, could have kind of a big year. I really liked him coming out of Alabama. He might give that offense a new dynamic. And then Laporta is my guy. I'm a big Laporta guy at tight end. And then the defense, they got Hutchinson. They got a couple corners. Yeah, I'm going Detroit.
Ooh,
Give me the Packers. Let me go out on another limb. I'm a believer of Jordan Love. And speaking of the Lions, I honestly feel bad for former 49er Emmanuel Mosley, back-to-back years of dealing with injuries. He had such that, especially in leading up to that Carolina game with the 49ers, his career trajectory looked like it was going up. He looked like he was about to be the next Deommodore Lenoir, that corner that was on the come up. And unfortunately, dealing with 2 back-to-back injuries, praying for him. Hopefully he comes back and bounces back stronger than ever. But I'm gonna go with the Packers. If y'all don't remember, the Packers, I think it was Thanksgiving, the Packers pulled off the upset against the Lions. And if you could split against the Lions and you could beat the Bears and the Vikings, I think, especially after that performance that they put up against the 49ers and how Jordan Love was looking like in the playoffs, if that Jordan Love shows up in the regular season, the Packers could end up, winning the division. I think it'll be a 1-game difference. I think it'll be Lions maybe 12 wins and the Packers maybe 13, or it'll be a 1-game difference. But I think I'm gonna go with the Packers. I'm gonna put myself out on a limb and go with the Packers.
Nice. Hey, real quick, have you guys been watching Hard Knocks with the Bears?
Yeah, I've seen 2 episodes so far.
Yeah,
I saw
watched a
the
couple.
Giants one. The Giants one was dope.
Yeah, that was cool. NFC South, are we all going with them ATL Falcons, or does someone want to go out on a limb?
Give me the Carolina Panthers. Give me the Carolina Panthers.
I'll go Tampa Bay. Bay.
Right.
Yeah, just because, I mean, hey, Baker does look like he's at home. They believe in him. He that's all you really need is the relationship. You just need to fit. You just need to fit what the team's looking for. And, we could crap on a lot of these divisions and stuff like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're all, I don't see Carolina being that horrible again. And I know New Orleans, no one thinks nothing much of Derek Carr and stuff, but I just feel like they're going to be fighting each other. It's not just I don't think you're going to just roll in to versus any one of those teams and just roll them over, unless Carolina just really don't got that fight in them and they're going to just suck for a while. But I expect it to turn around.
Cool. Hey, so I got these written down. We'll see who's right and who's wrong at the end of the year. Amin, who did you have winning the NFC South?
Oh, I got the Falcons.
You got the Falcons. Okay, so three of us got the Falcons. Kels got the TB. Okay, cool. You guys got a few minutes?
Yeah.
I just G12 had a great question earlier on in the show. We didn't really talk about regular season awards for the Niners, so maybe like Rookie of the Year, MVP, something like that. So who do you guys think will be the MVP of the Niners season? I'll just go quick. I think it's going to be BP, Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going Brock Purdy. I was in Tahoe a few months ago. I locked in the futures bet of Brock Purdy MVP along with the 49ers Super Bowl bet. So I'm with you, Jay.
Oh, so I can't
Not
play
only as the Niners MVP, but the NFL
MVP. Nice.
I can't play any games. I got to help this one into existence. Brock Purdy, you know, he's got to be that guy. I'm glad he openly talked about it. Hey, I want to hit that next level. I want to do like Tom Brady does, and I want to dominate games, because I've talked to you guys many a times, like, you know, close the door, man. Go for the kill shot, you know, go for the Steph Curry night, and Kyle never does it. And I hope that's where I said I feel like that they can grow another step in their relationship with just challenging each other. And it feels like Kyle wants to give him that, and Brock wants to take it. But I'm sure when you're going into something unknown and there's like a transfer of power, kind of, if you will, you know, I think Brock can do it, and I hope he does. It's all on the health, really. That's how I see it. Stay healthy. Brock Purdy.
Y'all going BP. I'm gonna go JP. I don't want it to happen, but then I also want it to happen, if that makes sense. Like, I want to see him get his opportunities, and I'm so confident in Jordan Mason that if Christian McCaffrey, you know, hopefully he doesn't, but if he does hypothetically get hurt, I'm confident in JP Mason coming in and filling in this spot. And like I said, Christian McCaffrey hasn't had 2 healthy seasons in a hot minute, and already dealing with the calf issue, with the calf or the hamstring. Like, I honestly think JP Mason will get his opportunity this year to shine, and I think he will do that. I think he will get his opportunity, and I think he will ball out this year. So give me, y'all going BP. Let me go with JP.
Hey, well said, everyone. Who will be the most productive rookie for the squad? Do you think it'll be on offense or defense? You know, a few days ago, even honestly, a few days ago, I don't think I would have said Pearsall, because it's been a terrible offseason for him, just been banged up. And he's been in the blue non-contact jersey for pretty much since he's been a Niner. So I don't really, we'll see with Pearsall, but I think maybe Cowling. I don't think the stats will be there, but maybe impact, maybe in the punt return game, maybe a catch or two a game in the slot, something like that. So if I had to say a rookie of the year for the Niners, I would say probably Cowling.
Man,
Dominic
absolutely.
Pooney.
Dominic Pooney. He's going to get the most snaps, in my opinion, out of maybe Renardo Green or Mustafa, but no, I think it's going to be Pooney. I think he's going to be playing from the jump, and I think he's going to be a darn good football player.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how it's going to look when it happens, but man, one could argue that Ricky is already made one of the most massive impacts that you could make. You know, it depends on how the 49ers are really going to do this, how he wants it to be done. You know, you could take a situation like this and shine the brightest spotlight on it, and it could be something magical. You could kind of just, you know, he might want to keep it close to the vest. Who knows? But I think just the hype around Ricky when he comes out the tunnel, when he makes even one catch, it's probably going to be electric, you know. And if that manifests into, you know, you know, a good freaking energy. You know what I'm saying? It could.
Yeah, he could definitely
that
uplift
could be
the team,
something
no
that
doubt.
breaks the hump. That could be that X factor that we've been looking for. That, you know, puts chills up your arms. That makes you want to run through a brick wall. It just depends on how they take it. Everybody takes it different. Some people don't give a damn if. Hey, I'm just keeping it lit, man. This is how I see it, you know, in real life. Some people don't care when people get shot or things happen to people, you know. That's why there are some people who do the shit they do, and some people really rally behind it, and some people take it very personal, and, you know, gives them a little extra something in the tank to, you know, do great things. So hopefully I'm gonna say Ricky.
What
Yeah,
about you?
it's Pooney for sure. Like, I mean, Pooney's gonna get the most opportunities. I'll even go out here on a limb, but I don't know if it's that much of a, you know, a hot take. But I think Pooney could make first team all first rookie team. I don't know what it's exactly called, but like he could be first team all NFL rookie team. I think he could definitely make it. And he definitely has the opportunity. He's the starter this year. And if Trent Williams does miss some games, like that just puts more emphasis on the rest of the offensive line to see how well they perform. And they got to hold their own, especially if Trent is out week 1. So I'm going to go with Dominic Pooney. I think he has the opportunities, and I think he will make the most of it.
Cool.
But Jay, can I just say one thing real quick though?
Mm.
Nah,
Yeah, go ahead.
Nah, but as much as, you know, I'm praying for Ricky Pearsall, like Kingsley, what's the name? Kingsley. I'm not trying to butcher his last name, but he's on the Chiefs, offensive lineman. He had the highest grade, highest, yeah, Sumalia, something like that. Like, I ain't trying to mess up the last name, but he had like the highest PFF grade out of all rookie offensive linemen. Like we could have used that, Kyle. We could have used that. Like, I get it. You out here thinking you the stuff. You don't need offensive linemen. Like, you might have your own philosophy, but imagine if you had a Dominic Pooney that you got in the 3rd round, and even if Trent missed some games, if you had Kingsley starting at left tackle, like I would be a little bit more confident going into week 1 or going into the season, even if Trent gets hurt, than having Jalen Moore starting. But yeah, man, like as much as I think Ricky still has the potential. I think he could, you know, he could be a stud for this team. But at the same time, just based on the position of need, I'd much rather have a Kingsley Sumaia as an offensive lineman for this team, or any offensive lineman, or even like a Cooper DeJohn or a Kool-Aid McKinstry on this team, than have a Ricky Pearsall. Even though I'm not trying to knock Ricky or anything like that, I wish him the best in his career. I hope he comes out and balls out for the 49ers. But yeah, I would have loved me a Kingsley or even a Cooper DeJohn or a Kool-Aid right now.
No, absolutely. But you know, the Niners are set on what's his name? Who's on the right side? What's his name is escaping me right
Colton
now.
McKivitz.
They gave that man a vote of confidence in the offseason. They gave that brother a raise.
What did he do? What did he do, Jay? What did he do to get that vote of confidence?
He played every snap. That's what he did.
He played it.
I don't necessarily agree with it, but even Forster, like Kenny said in the comments, Forster's like, we don't need any 5-star offensive lineman. We'll get a
Jay, I'm not even
into a tackle. You know,
Jay, I'm not even trying to hate. I'm not even trying to hate, but even after seeing that, like you saw in the preseason, it wasn't Percy Harvin, but it was like our punter, man. Like our punter was doing this thing, and then when I think about that and I see that, I'm like, no disrespect, Money Mitch, but like we did not need to pay you. What was it, like 11, 12? Like we did not need to pay you. Like I don't get what the logic is of like we don't believe in investing in the offensive line, but we invest money into our punter. Like that dude was doing his thing in that. What was it, the Saints game? Like was it like 3 or 4 punts inside the 20? Like he was doing his thing for 1 year. I'd much rather have him than have Mitch Wishnowsky for like what? I don't know what his per yearly salary is, but
he signed a 4-year. I just looked it up. 4-year, 11 mil. So it's like he's making like less than 3 mil per. But I mean, I'm not sure we want to go down this road again because I think it was me and you a couple years ago. We kind of got on Mitch And then all Mitch proceeded to do was like pin every freaking punt inside the 10-yard line.
No
I
slander.
thought we had
That is
agreed
true.
straight out of the bay. There
slander.
was no
Yep.
more Wisnowski slander. But
That
here
is true.
Amin goes again, opening that up. So Amin, you're on your own this time. You're on your own.
Hey, I might be on my own.
Niners.
So be
The
it.
Niners are rewarding players who show up and show out, and that's why they re-signed Mitch.
But
That's
he did it until last year, Jay. I'm not even trying to be mean, but like there was nothing special about Mitch until last year where we were like, oh, Mitch Wishnowsky, look at him punting everything inside the 10, inside the 20, no Mitch slander. And then when I see some random guy we picked off the street do it, I'm like, is Mitch really that special? Like, is he really worth the 3 years?
The guy off the street, I'm sure he was a veteran. I'm sure it wasn't like he was just drafted or undrafted free agent. I'm sure that guy was a veteran. I don't even remember his name.
He was with the Steelers
He was with the Steelers, but like I'd rather
well,
pay.
he's a vet. So that
I
should
get it, but I don't think
punter
punter's that important of a position where you sign a punter to a long-term contract. Even like kickers in general. Like I don't think unless you have a guy like a Robbie Gould or a Justin Tucker, like I don't believe you need to sign him to long-term contracts. I just think even if it's like a $3 million a year, like I just think you could get it for cheaper. Or you're better off drafting a guy. Like I
agree with you, but I mean it's like what's $2.5 million a year. It's a punter.
Mitch is a Niner lifer. He is
Clearly.
Australian. He's got the hair.
I still love his draft call. Did y'all see his draft call?
Go ahead.
Did y'all see his draft call when like the Niners called him up and they started doing some like Aussie chant? I don't know. It was like a behind the scenes that they had. Like, they always do the phone call and they had like this chant that they made for Mitch Wishnowsky once they called him up. So that was pretty dope.
No, that's dope. I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to YouTube that. Hey, one last one about the Niners. Do you guys have a player in mind who you think will get the comeback player of the year for the 49ers for the 2024 season? There we go.
Ricky Pearsall.
You said Pearsall?
Ricky Pearsall.
Greatest. Hey, we got some storylines this year, y'all. This is it. I mean,
I can't wait. I can't wait for Ricky to come out week 5 or week 6 to many men by 50 and just walk out and do his thing. Like,
wow.
It's gonna be him and Trump. I
don't know if it's gonna be that early. I think he might miss more than just the 4, but I mean, if he does anything this year, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, how can you really expect him to do anything? Like, just get healthy.
If he does, he gets that award.
Oh yeah, Ricky. Hey, look, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional on gunshots and all that, but from the sounds of it, I wouldn't doubt it if he has one of the fastest recoveries. Like if it didn't hit anything major and it went in and out the way it did, like I'm not a professional, but I think it's going to be faster than a lot of us think. That maybe I'm just being hopeful, being optimistic, and hey, if that's the case, I'm gonna die on that sword. I'm gonna die on the hopeful, optimistic side for sure when it comes.
No pun intended. Yeah,
but I mean, it seems like it's lining up. It seems like it's lining up for it to be a faster recovery. I mean, he came out before 24 hours.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I'm just not putting the expectations on him like that. But it's good that you're optimistic. I appreciate that. I'm gonna be optimistic and just be like, just get healthy and because not only he has to recover physically, but real mentally as well. Yeah, it's like,
real talk.
That's crazy. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine that, and that's just crazy. Yeah, I couldn't imagine that. So, hey, man, well, this was a hell of a show. Good to see you three brothers again. Can't wait to do this again next Monday. Appreciate everyone that's in the chat. You were leaving comments, the super chats. We appreciate it. We'll be here every Monday night after the Monday night game, talking about our Niners and a little bit of other NFL stuff. Also, if you're interested in joining that fantasy football league from Straight Outta the Bay, check out Amin the Dream on X, on Twitter. Check him out. How about we go through round robin, closing thoughts, and then we'll be out. Let's go with Bay Area ball.
Hey, fellas, love talking ball with you guys. Glad to be back. It's football season, man. It's that time of year where Sundays are about to get a whole heck of a lot better. You're going to have some Thursday night football, some Monday night football. I mean, when it's football season, it just it gives you something to look forward to, like during the day. It's like, oh, we got some football tonight. So you got to love it. And football season means the four of us get back together and talk ball. So, hey, appreciate it and talk soon.
Absolutely. What you got, Kelts?
Hey, man, look, we lost the Super Bowl, and that's the last time we were on the field. I mean, that's the fact. We lost the Super Bowl, and nothing this offseason gave, I don't think, any of us confidence about the vibes, about just grueling and long and hard. And, and I feel like that's a lot of the times what Kyle preaches. Before seasons even start, I feel like I can hear Kyle in the locker room like, hey, y'all, it's going to be hella hard. Like, and it feels like everything is a struggle. But last year, I feel like we caught a glimpse of what it looks like when there is trust being built. And last year felt fun. I mean, there were some bumps in the road, but last year was a fun year besides the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? And I think they're going to build on it. And I think we're going to be right back there. I know it looks like, the vibes are wrong. I've been hella pissed off about a lot of stuff, but I'm just trying not to overreact to it because I know once the real bullets start flying, it can all change just as fast. I mean, in this game of momentum, it can swing at any moment. Just a couple of injuries, so I'm kind of holding back on jumping, hey, we're about to win the Super Bowl, or we're going to be, or it's going to be, oh man, it's going to be a slow start. No Trent, that equals 2-5, no matter what. I don't see that. I think we're going to be a good team for a lot of years to come. I don't see a significant drop off. Like, I feel like this year could be a bigger window. I'll say that than last year, just off the fact that I don't think we're going to have a Logan Ryan in the Super Bowl. Just that one component for me is enough. Is that 1 inch that says we could be a little bit better this year. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Amin gonna close it out. What you got, man?
Before I hit it with the way that I normally end every Straight Out of the Bay show, Kels, what's up with you, man? Like on Twitter, all I've been hearing, all I've been seeing is like, oh, the Niners, like Kyle Shanahan. I don't know about this Niners team this year. Like all over Twitter, and all of a sudden, Kels out here like.
Let me say this. Hey, I got a gang of shit. Hey, I got a gang of shit to say about Kyle, right? But I'm not trying to bring that to this show. Like y'all know, I've said it 100 times, right? So what am I?
Am
I going to keep on just staying on? Man, get off my lawn, Kyle. I'm tired. Hey, Kyle is his own. Hey, I'm growing this year, bro. Hey, I might be pissed off on X saying it on Twitter about Kyle, but I can't bring that for an hour with my dudes on Jay's channel. Like, I can't. But then at the same time, I can only type so much on Twitter. That's not all I feel. That might be the thing I'm most frustrated about. My biggest concern is still 3rd and 4 in the Super Bowl with Kyle Shanahan. I'm not worried about Brock. I'm not worried about Aiyuk or any one of the players. Like I'm just not. I'm worried about what is Shanahan going to do in those moments. That will always be there until it isn't. But I'm still optimistic about my Niners. I mean, it's just, that's probably what Steve-O was saying too. Like, hey, you're coming, you say this on Twitter, but now you're coming sounding like this. Well, you can't hear my voice on Twitter. I couldn't show you the whole 12 books. You feel me? Like, I mean, you're only getting, and that's how I vent. Sometimes I'll go on there and 2 years ago, it was probably rah, nothing but optimism. Yeah, the Niners have drugged me down right along with them just a little bit, just in those, or I'm vocalizing, my frustrations more than just being like, hey, they're gonna win the Super Bowl. Trey's gonna be the shit. Hey, Brock's gonna be the shit. They're gonna win this. Hey, sometimes you got to hear real truth. Hey, Kyle, he still hasn't even answered. Hey, bro, what was up on that 3rd and 4? He didn't even he wouldn't even let you know what he felt about his game plan because he was that whatever. He couldn't even answer a simple question after the Super Bowl. He's still a jerk. He's always going to be one. I'm a jerk too at some times. I can relate. I get it. But that's enough of my rant. Kyle, I believe in you, even though you pissed me off, but I love my Niners.
And we got to end it with the Bang Bang Niner gang.
Bang Bang Niner gang.
Peace. See y'all next Monday. Yay.